Hello, welcome to Axe to Grind, a hardcore podcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Bob.
And I'm Tom.
It's been a minute.
It has.
Wait, can I ask you guys a question? Of
course.
Have you guys missed us?
Are you asking them?
Because I got to admit, we missed us too.
Oh, good ref. So we're back, and let's do what we do, which is we show respect to our benefactors, our sponsors. This
Casper, CBD oil.
I was just about to say, the ones that keep us out of hawking CBD oil.
We got the offer, 5-1 vape, thanks.
Yeah, thanks anyway. We decided to go with something a little closer to home.
A little different direction.
And that is
Death Wish Inc.
So, Death Wish, one of my favorite labels. Been doing business with them for 150 years. Mm-hmm. Almost had Trey on the show today.
Yeah.
He's got laryngitis.
Yeah. Had some bad pancakes. Thanks, Trey.
Bad pancakes?
Yeah, bad pancakes. What do we got coming out from them? Oh. We'll talk about it. Gouge Away.
Great record. Burnt Sugar. We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go there.
You got to order it.
You got to order it.
10% off.
Hey, look, everybody that's heard it is going nuts for it, and I don't just say that because I'm going on tour with them. You know what I mean?
Had a big conversation about what we talked about the new wave of non-core, and I think Gouge Away is primed for it.
I agree.
I think somebody said it to me. There's aggression in their music that isn't the ignorant crowd kill, punch your friend in the face, but it's still aggression, and it's that kind of energy that is pervasive, and there's a lot of fucking people who want that. We've talked about it a lot.
We'll talk about that at greater length in a minute.
Yes.
But pick that up. Also, people are going nuts. Not necessarily, this isn't our scene. I'm going to speak broadly for a second. Not our scene, so maybe we don't see enough of it, but there are people that are very excited for that Cult Leader record.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and it's weird that that's not my scene, because it kind of is. I like that sort of shit, but it's... I'm not. I guess the people I follow are not those people. You know what I mean?
No.
So
and a reminder that we said this, and it's replayed in my head because it was a great conversation we had. Your timeline is not the truth.
No, I heard today that firstly, 7% of Americans being on Twitter in some capacity. That's a lot of Americans. If that's the actual that I heard, that's a lot. But that doesn't account for the people that are active or inactive. So that means that you just started an account. So basically, everybody at home, what you're talking about here is whatever you're looking at is the smallest sliver of humanity that you could find outside of going to your local Jack in the Box and just hanging out for a day. So it's not the world. You know what I mean? Whatever you're looking at is not the world. So shout out to Death Wish. Everybody knows that you can get a 10% discount by putting in the promo code
Axe to Grind.
And spell it out.
You'd do well to spell that out, yes.
The other thing is the new Modern Life is War single. Second single in their series. Haven't heard it yet, but this is their new music. Actually, I saw the music video for one of the new songs. It was interesting. It was two dudes in a room. It was actually pretty creative. It was interesting. So check that out too. And
I like their new release kind of... a couple of
style?
songs at a time. I think that's pretty cool.
I agree.
If you can get someone to back that and help pay for it, I think that's a cool idea.
Agreed.
Way to do it.
You know what else? Let's get heavy a little bit. Go get a 100 Demon shirt from Death Wish.
All right.
I thought you meant heavy, like depressing.
Oh, no. No, like heavy, like...
I mean,
like
100
heavy
yes,
and depressing.
yes,
I mean, if you really listen to the words.
some dark riffs.
Yeah.
Go get that Holy Land shirt. Why not? I think it's on sale, so grab that.
Is it?
Yeah, on sale and on discount,
I've got the sweatshirt.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so thank you to Death Wish. And wait a second. We got another sponsor.
We do. Triple B. Triple B, who we joke is cornering the market, but it's not that big a joke. You know what I mean?
No,
like
it's
kind of a reality.
You know, there are some up and coming young labels,
Look,
rad, but they have something to aspire to in what Sam's doing. We saw it this past week with a record we're going to talk about.
Yes.
Don't even need to name it yet.
Nope.
And he's got more stuff coming up. Let's talk about that one that's not on discount yet. You can't use the promo code, which is
Axe to Grind.
And you might want to
spell it out.
But that's Mind Force Excalibur.
So
good. From what I've heard,
you guys have more insight into this than I do. It's supposedly quite good.
That's what the word on the street is.
Yeah, I can't tell you for certain that I've heard it.
The streets of the Hudson Valley are ringing the praise.
Beacon is just on fire.
Yeah, that bridge over 84. Holy shit.
Wow, Tivoli Bays is just electric with this. So,
the lyrics on that song, I want to go to war just to erase your name. Damn.
Hard. I swing what is it? I swing the sword like a gavel, whatever the fuck. The lyrics
that's
are
great.
fantastic.
It's fucking great. I love it. So you should go pre-order that. But let's give you something to get a discount on too. What do you want to get a discount on? Well, let's see. You know what? The clear 7-inch. It's maybe a lost record in the Pat Flynn discography.
I would say it's definitely the overlooked.
This is his moshcore band from Salt Lake City, right? Is that what I'm thinking?
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
X-Clear X.
So people forget that Pat had a little stint in Salt Lake in the 90s.
Yes.
Right, he was like
a little
9.
more militant. Yeah,
he was very angry about the straight edge.
Carving X's in people's backs, that kind of thing. Burning at McDonald's.
Sword,
yeah, exactly.
I went to see Clear play, Pat's Clear, play with Cream. But not cream with 2 E's.
Oh, the CREEM.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So
for two bands that opening for Chain, I think it was.
Well, I think, did I mention this last episode that I was just on tour with a band called Wallflower? That obviously there's
the Wallflowers.
One tail light.
There's the Wallflowers, and then apparently there's a UK band from 10 years before that called Wallflower.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
but it's Jacob Dylan. So
well, I mean, Pat is in another band called Free.
That's
so
true.
let's not deny the existence of the 70s rock band.
That's true.
But it looks like Triple B sold out of the clear 7-inch. So go get the Wolf Whistle 7-inch.
Yeah.
Playing some shows coming up.
Check out my new band, Jesus Jones.
Wolf Whistle is the overlooked.
That's totally
overlooked. Is the Pat Flynn band.
But they are going to be playing shows with your boys in Regional Justice Center coming up soon. In December, maybe? But it's coming up.
Record coming out?
They have an LP that... Wolf Whistle? Maybe.
Did Pat say something about that the last time he was on?
He
was that off the microphone?
I don't remember.
He said it sounded like Palehead.
I think that was me being optimistic. I think
he said it.
He might have said that
as he was walking out the door.
That's right. That was a little teaser.
Hey Pat, text somebody whose number you have and let us know.
I'll send you Tom's number. So go check that out. Wolf Whistle, free, clear is good. They might have an LP coming out. Who knows?
Oh, no
but
shit.
also pre-line of sight.
Yep.
Post Frontline.
Oh,
cool.
Wow. That one.
All right. So Triple B, thank you, Sam. Always. Let's get into the shit.
Let's get into the shit. This is a big news week.
Big news. What do we do with news? We do quick hits.
Yes, we do. Hit me up. What do we got?
You guys hear about this band Tourniquet?
Yes.
Okay. So the background, New Jersey, metalcore.
Like metalcore. Yeah.
Yep.
They got in trouble.
But
not really.
Oh, shame.
Kind of in trouble. But
well, you know what? It's funny. Because retroactively, it was like, fuck that dude. I'm glad he got split open. Because he was like kind of sketchy.
Oh, right. Sure.
You know, not everyone's like, why? It's okay because he's a Trump supporter. And then people like,
oh, wait, he's a Trump supporter?
He's a Trump supporter.
Oh, then that's fine. Whatever, dude. Your head's broken anyways.
There's like receipts, with him saying the N-word and calling people.
Oh shit! Well, this is maybe karma going to get you, but the gist of it was they're playing a show in Wilkes-Barre with Knocked Loose, I believe the band Warren, a couple other bands.
No Option, I think.
Yeah. At the venue there that has been doing shows for a minute.
Outer Space is it called? Something, not Outer Space.
Something. It's something like that. Some venue.
It's back though.
Is it back? It's good.
Because they're doing Combust is playing a show there.
Okay,
that I think was originally in Philly. And I don't know if Bob sent it to
No. They stopped. It got moved out of Wilkes-Barre to Allentown because they closed the venue.
But there's another place.
It's another. It's coming back. Okay.
I'm almost positive.
They moved that show that was supposed to be there that weekend to the Lehigh Valley, like Allentown.
But they're like
area.
Hangman Combust.
Okay,
tour like in like November.
Hit it? Okay, good. Well, so they maybe lost a venue, but maybe have another one back. Long story short,
old men trying to figure out what's
right. Yeah, like
what's happening in the Lehigh Valley.
You notice I didn't even jump in on that one. I was like, I couldn't find Lehigh Valley. I couldn't find Lehigh Valley on a map.
It's Bethlehem, PA.
Okay.
There you go. So you don't need to go there. You got your own.
I'm good.
Dude threw his guitar, split a dude open. Is that cool? Nah. Is it new? Nah. Are there people in bands who are straight up legends because of that kind of behavior?
Yes.
Yeah. Y'all just picking and choosing. And like, you can feel one way or the other. And I said this to somebody, a friend, this week. Hate on a band for the reason you hate them.
Yeah. Don't look for like the 100%. Like, this is my chance to take my shot.
100%.
And that's
such a big thing.
That's what hardcore is all about.
As a disliked person, I'll tell you that is my biggest pet peeve.
Right. You're like, yo, that guy's band sucks.
Yeah.
Because, why? Well, because he's a dick. Well, it's different.
Yeah.
I don't like him on Twitter.
Right.
You know, okay, hate him for that.
Yeah. I mean, we all do.
No,
That's
you
cool,
can hate him
man.
for the color of his shoes. I don't care.
Right.
That's cool. Which, speaking of, Patrick, I met Patrick today at the park and was looking for him. Yeah, his shoes are...
What are those?
Yeah, I was like, where are you? They're Nikes. And I was like, where are you? And he's like, oh, I'm right past the skaters. And no, they were just
hello, fellow
bright.
kids.
He didn't mention the bright pink sneakers he was wearing.
No, they're red.
I know, but from afar, they look very pink.
Well, two things. I've never worn Nikes in my life because when I was growing up, Nike was the enemy because they're child labor, right? And
you were a Kangol guy.
It just never left my head. So I've never worn Nike, but I have had a hard stance that I'm not paying for shoes this year. So I haven't paid for shoes in like 18 months, even though I go through shoes every 3 months. These, I was helping my mother move. I found these. I believe they belong to my brother. They give the appearance, tell me if I'm wrong, that I am a 40-year-old man attempting to fit in with 23-year-olds.
Not bragging if it's facts.
You're like, you're a Steve Buscemi meme right now.
That's what I look like. But
they're classy enough. You can wear those with khakis.
You looked like the cool dad who was hanging out with his kids.
Or like the retired skater.
Yeah.
Like, you're the guy, like I was sponsored back in the day.
Well, I'll just have you guys know, I walked into a cologne shop the other day on Madison Avenue, and the gentleman, Ariel, told me, I like your style. And I said, thank you so much. I call it ultra casual.
Getting those samples?
Yes, free samples.
So where were we? Oh, okay. So whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we've all gone to shows. You're gonna get. I mean, it's not to be like it's fucking hardcore, but like it is. Whether it be someone throwing something from the stage or someone in the crowd.
Yeah.
People fucking jock bands that it's like, dude, they threw a fucking garbage can into the crowd, or all their friends beat the shit out of each other. Like, there's bands that do that exclusively.
Yes.
But
we were all laughing and joking and enjoying when one of the sweetest men in the world was throwing a bass drum off the stage at United Blood like 9 months ago. So we can't be mad when someone's throwing a guitar, and this just happened to hit someone.
Right. I mean, Ace mosh with a chair, but then he turned it into a boombox, so he didn't get hurt. He didn't hurt anybody.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, it's people mosh with tasers. There's people have moshed. I've watched people mosh with hatchets,
chains, hatchets, whatever. Look,
ball peen hammers.
Every time this happens, somebody gets mad. The internet gets mad. That 7% of the United States gets mad, right?
And I feel like 5% of that. Well, 90% of that 7% is hardcore kids.
Right.
Because everyone's got a stance. Everyone's got to say something.
Yep.
Everyone's got something.
I feel like I'm going to distill what you guys are putting out there and put it into a highly dislikable locus point for people that just want to take issue with
Locust. They probably threw stuff. Locust.
Here it is.
We talk about the Locust all the time now.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, nonplussed.
I don't give a fuck. Tourniquet, your music's not there yet. But apparently your stage show is, because I'd watch that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, ready? We labeled this. We're going to label this one and move on. Non-traversy.
Yeah, non-traversy. If you got a problem, just wait a week. You'll have a new problem.
And if you dislike them for what you really dislike them for. Come on.
Yeah, exactly right.
Exactly
right.
Get it out.
Because, I mean, if fucking a normal hardcore band or like a band where the kid wasn't wearing makeup threw a fucking guitar into it. I mean, God almighty. Everyone loved fucking the Trail of Lies. Like, someone threw a fucking a tom into the crowd.
Yeah. Right.
And no one was like, that's fucked up.
Yeah. Look.
That's more like it hurts.
If it did, if that hits someone, how we treating it? Is it going to get treated the same way?
Like, yo, it's fucking Trail of Lies. It's nuts.
And what really happened was the aggrieved, and I get it. I also get the point of somebody who maybe they don't get the money, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
And you
use
go in
glue.
and trying to get it, but yeah, like we aren't mad We aren't mad 99% of the time. When this happens, why are we fucking talking about it?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, I mean, it doesn't happen all the time anymore.
Yeah.
And before the internet, it happened all the time.
And this is the legends. Yeah, the legends. People love.
Has anyone seen video of Dead Guy? If you haven't seen Dead Guy, it was an act like Keith Huckins was waging war on the people in front.
Yeah.
Getting hit with headstocks and fucking Timmy No Justice, fucking throwing shit,
That's
symbols.
just our buddy Dave. If you want to watch the last show, No Justice last show video, Timmy grabs the symbols and throws them off the stage. They hit our former guest, soon to be guest again, Dave, square in the forehead. The day before he's supposed to play CB's the next day, and he has to go to the hospital in DC. Misses the whole No Justice set and the rest of the show. Has to get stitches in his head, and then plays the next day. Those were Mouthpiece reunion shows in 2000.
Yeah,
and plays. They opened. It was like it was Tear It Up, American Nightmare, Reach the Sky, Bane, AN, Mouthpiece. Mouthpiece.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And Dave is loopy, and he gets up there and he's like, "This song goes out to Mouthpiece. If it wasn't for them, none of us would be here." And he just, and you could tell he had a concussion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Symptoms.
And look, real quick, I don't want anybody to die at a show. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. I don't give a fuck what the kid's done in his life. None of that's germane to me. I'm just going to say that...
it's just like Monday morning quarterback. It's like, it worked out.
Yeah.
If he was somebody there by love, there might have been more of an issue. But it's like, fuck this guy. He's got,
But I'm just going to say, like, I mean, look, I don't know, man. Sometimes you go to a show, you die.
Pay attention.
Whatever.
Keep your head up. Keep your head on a swivel.
Gotta keep your head up.
I mean, have anyone seen a person die at a show?
No.
Yeah, this gets dark.
I've seen two.
Dead, wow.
Like actual dead.
I've only seen one person die I've seen car accidents where I've seen people die. And then I saw one person dead on a sidewalk. I don't think I've seen anybody die at a show.
I saw somebody die at a Life Wagner show.
No shit.
Brain fluid coming out of his nose.
Oh no, I don't want brain fluid out of my nose.
Yeah, it was on when Court TV was a thing. The entire trial was on Court TV.
Oh yeah, I don't want that.
The bouncer threw the kid off the stage and landed on his head. Then he was outside, like leaning against the wall, just like blood and brain fluid. Yeah, Life of Agony Shelter, which we talked about.
Right, that's right.
Oh,
the guy died at that show, 94.
That's a tragedy. One last thing I want to say. If I read anybody say, and doctors told me I would have been dead if blah 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 blah. Doctors just do that, man. I'm just gonna right. If you're not, if you only say that when you intend to sue, because doctor, so what? It didn't happen. You didn't die. Like so you walked in and the doctor said, "Wow, if you showed up 5 minutes later, you would have been dead." They say that literally every time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if you showed up 5 minutes later, I would have been closed. And,
right.
You would have waited till tomorrow.
Yeah, just stop.
You would have waited in triage for a couple extra hours. I don't know.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about the show in the park. Saturday in the park.
Fucking
thinking about the 4th of July.
As the Brits say, I was gutted that I couldn't make it to this.
Yeah, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Murphy's Law.
No,
Mighty Boss Tones, Killing Time. You're right. No, I was saying Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Killing Time,
Sheer Terror,
and Combust. And I thought Combust. I did not make it to the show. I was sad I did not.
Gutted.
I wanted to skank. Instead, I listened to the Boss Tones while I made dinner. Yo, very good dinner making music.
Oh, sure.
Straight up.
Yeah, you can dance around your kitchen.
And
you got socks on. You had socks on?
Yeah.
No shoes.
No shoes. No.
Yeah, so you can really get a fucking good skank.
And I was just feeling it. It was good.
It's fun.
Things to do. And raised a bunch of money for our buddy Jimmy Gestapo from Murphy's Law. So
he goes by Jimmy G now because I wonder if he's like Gestapo's kind of sketch.
It's like the Marvel Comics character Holocaust, who they don't call Holocaust now because they realized that
Jimmy Dresch.
Apparently, the difference between the '90s that was acceptable.
They just call him Jimmy H now.
Yeah, Jimmy H.
Yeah, raised a bunch of money for the guy. I think Boss Tones did a Murphy's Law cover. Combust did a Murphy's Law cover. Yes. I think Killing Time did one too. Oh, right. But I don't think Sheer Terror did. Paul Bearer talked about the Proud Boys thing a lot, apparently.
That's right, yep. I thought Combust videos I saw, they sounded awesome.
They do, yeah, I mean, they've gotten better and better.
Yeah.
And he's a great frontman.
He really
my
is.
man
he
Andrew
really
turned
did.
into like a really good frontman.
Shout out Combust. Good band.
Hopefully, if we ever get to do our
Secret Plan. Mm-hmm.
Our Secret Plan, they're number one. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, I asked already. Yeah.
Awesome.
And,
you like that? You like
hypothetically,
the
I was okay if this were to happen. Was this something that you might be interested in?
And they were like, "Oh,
yes,
of course, excellent, I like that."
Those shows in the park for anybody that has not attended one, I urge you to. It is a cultural experience.
Absolutely.
It is literally the crossroads of the world.
Yep.
And I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of people in there. I'm like, you didn't pay the $20.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
that's true.
No.
There's no shot. But like, they're like the people that it's like, well, I'm here 364 other days. So
Yes.
what the fuck do I?
Yeah. I mean, last one
Like, I
I
live here.
Pass to the people who live there.
Yeah.
If you live at C Squad or you're in Tompkins 360 days a year, you're all right. You get free admission.
Yeah.
I do think you should show respect to our buddy Jimmy G, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
There's a GoFundMe for that. Go to the library.
There you go.
Turn the porn off and just go fucking
There
donate
you go.
$20 to the guy.
Did I talk about the guy? There's some regulars at the library in Barrett.
That watch porn, right?
Oh,
There was one who was
that's
watching
all
porn,
anybody does.
but there was
at the
one guy who was
library.
in there watching the Kavanaugh hearings.
Okay.
And then there's a couple who set up, and a dude in his early 60s who was gaming.
Oh.
He was playing a Doom mod.
See,
They probably have like sick fucking connection, right?
I live.
Yeah.
They
One.
do. They definitely do. Yeah.
I live around the block from a library, and it was part of the selling point when Amelia was like, you know, for people at home, my girlfriend was saying, "Oh, and it's so nice, the library." And then while I was away, she went into it, and she was like, "A lot of it kind of smelled weird, and a lot of people just seemingly
Just hanging out.
And you were like, yeah, right?
on the internet."
Isn't that what libraries are for?
I'll tell you, it's an actual where it's a big issue in Southern California. There's a library outside of San Diego that has a sign around the grounds that just essentially acknowledge we know this space smells, but it is part of our mission to facilitate some of these resources to homeless people, and we appreciate your understanding.
Wow.
But they have to put it up because
It's that
it's something
overwhelming.
else. It
stings the nostrils.
It is really intense. But it's
Public transportation and libraries.
Yep.
Welcome to Axe to Grind.
yep. There you go.
Huge show. Very cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone who set it up. Raised a
Lot
ton
of
of
work.
money.
Yeah, a lot of work putting that shit together,
and
man.
really cool. You get any reports on sheer terror from our buddy Eric Wilson
I
from
haven't. He's a
Worst
super
Possible
fan.
Timeline?
Super fan. No, that's crazy. I'll text him. Maybe we'll get an answer by the end of the podcast.
Worst Possible Timeline podcast. Shout out.
Check it
our
out.
brother.
You're not
podcast.
taking like a video selfie during fucking It's Been a Wonderful Year or whatever the fuck.
I
Has
mean,
the style been like, look at my hair. He's got beautiful hair, that guy.
he does have really good
Fucking
hair.
bastard.
Yo, I got my hair cut at.
You look sharp.
Thank you. But it was at a spot.
It's a Caesar.
It was
I think they
in.
would call that a Caesar.
No,
That's a
because
Caesar.
Caesar goes like this.
Which is what you have,
Oh
Mo.
shit! Oh shit!
Now you look like Mo from the Three Stooges, but before you got like a, you're going for like a Clooney, like
Yeah,
a Clooney.
yeah, well,
But
it's a
that's
different.
Caesar.
It's a modified
the
Clooney.
sides they have it
modified
trimmed up a little bit,
Clooney.
not faded in because it's more European style, so it's all right.
So the spot that I went into,
Was it in Europe? Was it in the UK?
it was in yes, it was in Bethnal Green, a part of London, and I had a few hours to kill.
And 100 quid to throw away.
The spot was a Bangladeshi gentleman. Everybody should check him out. It's Tony, spelled with an I. It's
So that's what happened with Tony.
underscore N, the letter N.
Yes.
Underscore Tiger, Tony and Tiger.
Tony
And-
TONI_N_Tiger.
That's right. And Bangladesh dude who he hands me his phone and he says, pick a haircut. I go through his Instagram and it's all Asian dudes with the thickest, most beautiful hair.
Yeah.
Able to pull off shit that I can't pull off.
No.
And I said, okay,
Yeah,
man, what
I'm
about
looking now.
what about like a mix of these two things? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't fuck with that.
No,
I would kill
He
that.
didn't,
That
he
kind
didn't
of
feature you on his
no,
Instagram.
no.
that kind of volume that those
Yeah,
folks have?
right? No,
Beautiful, like,
beautiful
they
hair.
can-
But he says I say, hey man, I'm gonna trust your judgment and he's like, do you want the line? And I said, you know, man, I trust it. My girl likes that Euro British look, whatever the fuck you want to do. And
You get a Garner Fructis thing right now. Yeah.
after a few minutes of cutting my hair, he goes, I don't think I'll do that. You're kind of white. And I was like, I am, yeah.
Kinda,
no.
yeah.
I was like, yeah, for sure.
Partially.
Yeah,
Understatement, yeah.
yeah. So we agreed that I didn't have the chops, basically.
All right. Well, it's good. It's a sharp haircut.
No, it looks good. So what were we talking about before the haircut?
Fucking hell. Boss Tones, Jimmy
Boss Tones.
G,
Oh, homeless.
Combust,
Yeah. All right. So
Homeless people.
shout
Pat
out
does
to
look
that show.
homeless.
There's a bit of a ska renaissance coming.
That's the rumor.
And you know what I want to say? It's fucking fun. Just let it be
Yeah,
fun.
no, it's fun.
Would you call it a renaissance?
I was the Sconaissance.
yeah.
Renaissance.
Renaissance?
Yeah, I
I like it.
I
I like
So
because
you
you
know
have
what?
to. It's,
So the
it's
call is
encouraged.
out. Can a hardcore kid do a good ska band in 2018? Not sure.
I'm
not
sure.
seeing that many
depends on the
underground
singer.
ska bands. I agree.
Although we're not involved. I mean, who knows?
I know. Well, so if
Like,
you're
where's the next Catch-22?
right or something better, because I'm not a huge fan of that.
But I mean, they were big in like DL. You know. What is this?
Oh yeah, no, this is good.
Those
Very
little
nice.
samples that I got.
Thank you to the cologne sponsorship that Patrick just blessed on us.
Well, that's sharp.
Yeah.
So but I think
Are you sharing these,
If
or
you
these-
know of any,
No, I need those back.
Yes, he
just let us
does.
smell.
Yes, he does.
If you know of any underground ska bands that are good, let us know. But it's fun. I know some of it's part of joke. It's kind of cool. Ska music's part of this. It's fun.
Look.
Whatever. Fuck it.
Hardcore is a joke if you take it that way. So fucking everybody just fucking calm down, have fun with a bit of music. I'm down for the Renaissance.
Renaissance. Well, that band, The Interrupters, I feel like is spearheading the Renaissance. Yeah. Have you heard them at all?
Yes, I listened to them after you mentioned them.
It's pretty good.
They're good.
Yeah. It's like the music, the drummer, guitar player, and bass player are three brothers.
Okay.
And the singer is this woman named Amy Interrupter.
Is that a government name?
Yes,
so,
oddly
yeah.
enough. Yeah, it's weird. One R though for her government.
Okay.
Not two. But it's sort of like, it sounds like what you would want from a Operation Ivy Rancid kind of band.
That's cool.
Really good. It's really well done.
Do we think Mac Miller took the wrong direction, going from the Sheds to
Mac Miller from Seattle, right?
yes?
Southern California.
Southern California.
Then was
Nah,
in Seattle for
yeah,
a while.
yeah.
But not the other Mac Miller who
no,
took
not
another
our
wrong
opinion.
direction.
Yeah,
Sorry.
not the one who passed.
No, our former guest. Did he take the wrong direction, moving his band? Should he have gone full ska?
Yeah, he was ahead of his time.
Yeah,
He was
I
ahead
know.
of his
You're
time.
right. That's right.
You know, Mac, if you're hearing this, I think that you should resurrect the Sheds under a different name.
Yep.
But do ska. He says he threatens to do ska.
Why not?
He threatens.
I don't know. I mean, would you take a ska band on tour?
Absolutely.
I think
Drug
that's
Church
the
would
move.
in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, you're borderline ska.
Heartbeat.
James.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Quasi ska. All right. So ska, we're all in on the Renaissance.
Yes.
All right.
I was never a big ska guy.
I know you weren't.
Some of the big bands.
You can
but like,
be. You can be now. It's never too late.
That's the goal, is to get a good. And I asked about the.
Are we going to
Boston
bring Moon
vibe.
Ska back from the
Yes.
dead? Like the store's going to open. They're going to
Yes.
do like
Maybe.
the comps again. We're going to make
We're
this
going to
happen.
see
We're
the
going to
Oi
will it in
compilations will be back.
compilations.
Yes.
So we'll see. Renaissance updates next week. Speaking of last week,
A message to you, Rudy.
3 new big releases:
Oh yeah.
Gouge Away, Burnt Sugar, Terror, Total Retaliation, Terror, Candy, Good to Feel. Let's talk about Gouge Away.
Tom,
Where to start?
we're looking at you because you are this band's advocate.
I would like. I mean,
Like
I
the
think it's
record
an
a lot.
excellent band. I
Yeah.
think they're fantastic. I think this is like a huge leap from their stuff before. Not that their stuff before wasn't good, but this is just there's something about it that is just like it really struck me. Like we were saying before, it's like very aggressive, but it's like it's you can go up front and not worry about some fucking idiot punching you in the face.
Sure.
But I feel like it's like aggressive in a way like. I mean, we always go back to it like how AN was kind of aggressive, but not like overtly like this is the part where everyone like beats each other. But it was so like it was like visceral almost, and I feel like Gouge Away could get to that sort of place. Lyrics really good.
Lyrics are really good. I
Really
think that's
good.
getting overlooked a little bit.
Yeah, like I feel like I always kind of equated them to, you know, like you read like say blacklisted lyrics and you go,
Yes.
it's a little too close to the bone. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
I think that's a good comp.
I think it's comparable, and not to say that Christina, like,
no shit.
but sort of like to that point. Like,
I think, yeah,
people are
she's in
so
that.
detached from their lyrics a lot of times that it's kind of like this could mean anything to anybody. This is like this person's actually feeling this. How George would write stuff that you're like
Fiddlehead
too close.
and like Fiddlehead and Blacklist did a Jace in terms
Yeah.
of like personal in a really deep way and just like
Very
emotive.
honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's, and it's a strength of the record. One of
the strengths, and her voice is fantastic. I feel like we always talk about like I always try to steal from the people that I like.
Yeah.
I kind of look, you know what I mean, that I like really admire, and I feel like there's a thing that I don't. There's probably like a technical word for it, but we're not really musicians, so we wouldn't know. You know how like a lot of the songs, like her vocals are like really like fucking like ripping, and then like towards the end of a line it kind of trails off.
Yes.
But it becomes almost like melodic. I'm going to try to steal that if I ever write another song. It's awesome. I don't know if I probably can't do it. But you know how...
Yo, you need to write another song, by the way.
But like, you know how like Rob Fish would do the whole like, I'm talking into us great?
Yep.
It's the opposite, but it's even way cooler.
Yeah.
Yo, I caught that a couple times. That's a great
And I love that.
pull-out.
Like, I just love it. It's like very...
unique.
Her vocals would be like very distorted, like kind of like gravelly, and then it kind of trails off
and
into like
down
something.
into something else.
So that makes sense to me that Jack Shirley is the one who recorded it. His background is in sort of that California Screamo stuff, which is not afraid to do that.
Yeah.
But when I record with engineers, they will not allow me to do that.
Oh, to trail down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Engineers, the only place that's an acceptable thing to do is in Screamo.
And I think it's interesting because you get it comes off emotional more. And
Yeah,
it kind of
I
like it gives more
like it a lot.
to it. I do too.
Engineers hate it.
Yeah. I think especially if you're doing punch vocals, maybe
Right.
because
But
they
you
think you're
definitely do
trailing
that.
down, and then
I think I've heard that.
Only by virtue of being incapable. Yeah.
But then I think it's probably
It's hard
if it's
to keep-
lazy engineering because if you're starting at say 0 and you go up to 50 and then you drop down and you end up somewhere below 0. When you start back up the next line, it almost feels unnatural, and they'll have to do some smoothing or coaching you to be like, "All right, remember where you were coming from on that
Where you
last
left
line."
off the last thing, so it doesn't sound like, and then I get so like
The vocals sound really good on this record.
So you'll hear
it's produced really well.
Okay. Jack's good at what he does.
Yeah, and the band obviously.
And I think it's interesting because they do like. There's a lot of connections to that world. The like Jack Shirley produced stuff, the Touche Amore, the La Dispute. And I don't think they would shy away from that, but that's not my world that totally. And I'm not saying that, like, Touche's got some stuff that I think is cool and I certainly respect them, but that's not totally my world. And this record resonates with me and it resonates with some of my friends who also couldn't be further from that world, you know? So I think this is an interesting band who has the chance to appeal across the board in a big way.
And I think it should.
Yeah. Well, you know what? These 3 records are actually cool because one of these bands is a band who is borderline universal terror already and has been for 15 years.
More than that. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And Candy, who we'll talk about in a minute, seems on that trajectory. And I think Gouge Away has a similar thing, you know, who has an ability to appeal to audiences across platforms, across sub-niche shit.
Well, okay, so you said something about sort of the non-core potential boom. I think look, this is just going to be highly opinion stuff here, people, okay? Just from my vantage. There was a bit of an effort there with some of the Popwig stuff that people like, you know what I mean? But I think didn't capture the larger imagination, such as like the bugs and the bibs and the you know that's
just too much.
That's possible.
I think it's an interesting. That's if we can divert into that, but yeah.
So that stuff has its fans, has its audience for sure, but is maybe still niche, you know. But it is doing. We talked about this. The thing that people don't want right now is machismo. You know what I mean? It's just like it's gauche at the moment. It'll come back, but right now people aren't into it. So
hopefully
people
not too hard.
Right. So people are looking for their alternatives. And
is that true?
I think so.
You don't think people are into it?
Into like macho shit?
Yeah, I'm not saying like I disagree with those people, but like I feel like that's like a big thing.
No, it's
in
like
hardcore.
Yeah, I think
there's two.
I mean, I'm glad to see it. But
yeah,
if we look at somebody like let's and I don't mean to say that he's following a trend, because typically he's leading sort of the climate. But if you compare Justice 10 years ago to Justice today, it's a different energy, it's a different vibe.
Well,
even though it's the
same guy.
Yeah, same guy.
So
same build.
Let's kind of hone in a bit. Band like Trail of Lies, ton of energy.
Yep.
Ton of strength. A lot of that kind of like
a lot of discipline.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But you know, and I thought it was really telling when Tom Dom was in here and talked about how his lyrics mean a lot to him and what he's trying to go up there and say. If he were to dumb it down and to be up there and the physicality he presents and all that, if he were to just be on some like beat your neighbor with a fucking club shit, I don't know.
I would have signed him already.
I'd love it. Yes, I'd love it.
But you even talk about with Detain that they're not
goons.
They're not on that goon tip.
No, they're just playing
There
good
is
music.
goon stuff. You want the goon stuff, you can go.
It's out there.
Yeah,
It's out there. And look, and I'm
some of that's for you.
I'm still drawn to that sort of stuff. But I'm not. When I'm talking about this shit, I'm doing it highly objectively because I know what my preferences are, but I am also not blind. Like, we see the curve of the world, we see kind of like where people's interests are right now.
The world is flat,
and it's true.
I spoke to Kyrie Irving.
No shit.
The world is flat.
Did
you hear? He apologized for that?
Did he?
Yeah,
About
he came
fucking
out.
time.
He let me put this. He came out and apologized. Like, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was going to be certain to get emails from science teachers being like, "Do you know what you just did? I have to reteach my kids this basic fundamentals." But shout outs to Paul Pierce, aka The Truth, who was like, "The Earth's flat. If the Earth was moving 1,000 miles per hour, I could get on a plane and be in Russia in an hour."
Yo, I'm on his side. I'm on his side. Also,
welcome to Axe to Grind, Flat Earth. Truth.
Flat Earth Society is meeting here today.
Yeah.
yes,
Not the band.
Yeah, New Jersey band.
Yeah,
right.
That was Bad Religion lyric.
Flat
Earth
Society
is meeting here today.
There's always going to be an audience for goons. There's
Absolutely.
always.
I mean, there always has been.
He's holding his heart right now.
Always has been, always
Yeah.
will be. It'll be me. But I think largely, people at the moment are looking for a different thing.
Well, and if they're looking for goon, they're looking for the Grey Poupon goon.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
yes. They're not good with any goon.
civilized.
Well, look, let's look at something like Knocked Loose, right? Knocked Loose is playing heavy music that people are meant to beat each other up to, but
The heaviest stuff.
But
they're not goonish.
they're not
No, they don't present goon.
right,
No,
and
they're the least goon, I
right,
think. And which is awesome. I mean,
their energy is counter that, right?
That's
So
right.
Again, if you are a fan of goon shit, you know what I mean? I'll be bumping the new Laid to Rest. I'm with you, but I'm just saying that there is a lot of people who are looking for that other thing, and that other thing, I think bands like Gouge Away are going to be some of the biggest beneficiaries of people looking for something that is high energy, something that reminds them, oh, this is why I like punk music and why I haven't migrated to something more mellow.
Yeah.
But I also I want to go to a show and have a different energy than potentially getting hurt, right?
Yeah. That's not what I'm looking for at this.
Right.
Yep.
And I think Gouge Away is perfectly primed to be that for many, many people.
Like a lot of bands, like Turnstile is for quite a few. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So here's what I want to get back to, the Popwig thing, because you mentioned a few of those bands, and I think you're right. There was this little wave of Popwig bands. I'm talking about the more esoteric ones. I'm talking about the Bibs. Bibs, pretty straightforward actually, but Bug. Did that stuff get isolated off too much? Did it feel like it was in an adjacent world too much for the standard kid who is excited for the other Popwig records, the Turnstile 7-inch or Trapped Under Ice LP? Like, are they like, have they even listened to those bands? So,
good question. I don't know anybody's sales numbers, so I couldn't say, but I'll say that it, to me, so having talked to the Popwig dudes,
sure,
I know that they like that material, and it's coming from a place where they want that to win. You know what I mean? They want to big up it. But when something feels like it's more of a Deranged Records band than kind of what we presume Turnstile would be affiliated with,
right? Or what the consensus has decided Popwig is, more so than what they're aiming it at, or what someone in this room is saying.
Yes, and I guess that's always the issue. Like Jeff Run for Cover said in here, like you have an idea of what you're doing, and the world doesn't always agree. You know what I mean? And it takes years of engineering to arrive at a place. And look, 10 years from now, Bug might be the biggest band in the scene, and Popwig could still be their home. And I'm not saying anything about anything. But what I'll say is that we talked about it. There was a bit of market confusion in my view, right?
I think that's right.
And also, maybe on some level it's a thing that kids checked out and then checked out of,
right? Or gave the cursory look, and glazed right by. And others who maybe it would have appealed to more didn't give it that cursory look because it was the assumptive, oh, that's on Popwig, the Turnstile Dude label. That's not for me. The Bib record, like that fits in the Deranged Records world. You know what I mean? Yes. And I think they might have done a record on Deranged, to be honest. So
I was putting out soft music on Death Wish for a long time, and the amount of looks that I got because of Death Wish, and the amount of looks away, might equal each other. Honestly, you know what I mean? Like it's you know, like to people at home, like we could have a real conversation sometime about. Kind of the choices that you make as a band and where they lead you. I think a lot of you would probably find it pretty interesting. A lot of you are stressed out about it. You know what I mean?
Sure,
like, it's the number one like kind of sweaty email or text that I get. Yes. Yep. But it is, you know, basically my view is always you go with the person that supports you and loves you the most, and
figure it out.
And you figure it out, and hopefully your music cuts through. But it does. But sometimes it takes many years.
And there's also been many people who go, "Oh, this is the tread path. I got this. We'll take the path of least resistance," and that works.
Sure.
You know, and it's to Tom, like where Indecision ended up with Trustkill.
Yes.
Well, you were happy, right? Well,
yeah.
Most Precious Blood.
Most Precious Blood ended
same
up
difference.
Right?
I mean,
I love that you. See, that's smart to me.
It's acknowledgement. It's acknowledgement. It's like what Pat Flynn did with the free. Like, this is half heart. It's what Self Defense was end of a year, and it evolved into it. And you're like, what am I gonna do?
It's named after a song on a record that we already had.
Yeah.
So it's like if you know the band, then you know the ties.
If you think about it, and you go back further, because it's not like it was obvious that you had the opportunity, but like I think there's a real chance that you could have had Indecision be on Revelation or be on Victory
back then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had offers from both.
Right, and it's sort of interesting.
Too punk.
Right. Stupid. But think about how different either of those experiences would have been from where you ended up, or two, how different those experiences would have been from each other.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You know, and the path and how that would have impacted like the look back of your band now. And it's funny to think about.
When Drug Church debuted a record or a song rather on NPR, we got an email from a very indie label, like a big indie label, but one that puts out like decidedly quote unquote indie music, like Coachella music. And it was a
Is this No Bull? It was a Matador joke. Forget it.
Sorry. Good reference.
God damn it. I'm playing chess.
No. Listen, you're operating at a higher level. I can't keep up.
We got the Connect 4 over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
Exactly.
You sung my battleship.
Exactly. Clue is too difficult for me. So, but
sorry out.
It was a fascinating thing, right? Because my bandmates, I said, "Hey, this is an email we got. This dude heard us on NPR, is asking what we're doing for our next record," and they were like, they looked at the roster and they were like, "It's like kind of like bleep." Bloops and these songs and shit, you know, like they didn't understand what the fuck it was. And to be honest, I don't understand what the fuck it is. It's not my scene, but like, but a fascinating thing because where it was premiered made all the difference to that particular label head. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's on NPR. That's okay for me and my sensibilities.
That's in my box. So.
Right. And then also, like, imagine if we had gone there. What if, firstly, I don't even know what the fuck I would do with that.
Well, first, I think self-defense dudes would be like, you fucking dude, what are you doing with this shit? Well, labels, it's interesting to talk about. We kind of get there. So speaking of a band who has traversed a label or two or three.
Or a trillion, yeah.
Terror. Total Retaliation.
Do they do one record deals? That's what's been happening?
I think they've done a bunch of different.
That's
and I think they get to pick their own lane. And the question.
I'm going to pull that up. I want to see how many labels they were on while you guys talk.
I'm gonna
does it even matter what label they're on? I think they supersede it at this point, right?
I don't think I'm talking out of turn by saying this. A friend is close with the guys in Less Than Jake, and they
speaking of the Renaissance,
they are very honest. They're like, yeah, typically we go to a label and things are good for a record or two, and then kind of we either underperform by their standards or
they underperform by
or by ours, and then we move on to the next one because the way that we look at it is that we will outlast the labels.
And they've certainly had a history of that,
and they've been on 6 labels, and they continue to play music to enthusiastic audiences. So sometimes it's true. Sometimes you do outlast the labels.
I'm counting 6 labels.
There you go.
I think I might be able to give more. Let me try.
No, it's 7. 8.
Bridge 9. I'm not going to go to the pre-Bridge 9. I'm getting the waving it off.
No, I just need you to talk in the mic. You can actually play it.
Pick it up.
You can play it the whole time you talk.
So,
all right, the first 2 LPs were on what?
Well,
you'll actually.
I have to think about it. I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted by Johnny Quest thinks we're sellouts.
Sell out. Is that them too? Is that Less Than Jake? Less Than Jake. Sell
that's
out
Real
with
Big
me.
Fish.
Same fucking nonsense.
Less Than Jake's so good. Bridge 9 did Lowest of the Low.
Correct.
Then Trustkill reissued Lowest of the Low and then put out Always the Hard Way. No, One with the Underdogs.
Yep.
Then Always the Hard Way comes out on Trustkill, but also Lockin' Out did the vinyl.
Interesting. Oh, so it's 10. I missed that one.
Reaper does a single in there and also does vinyl reissues of Lowest of the Low and maybe does vinyl for One with the Underdog. They eventually end up on Victory. No, then they're on Century Media.
Right.
Then they do Victory.
Yep.
Then
Current home.
Pure Noise and Nuclear Blast. I think Nuclear Blast does worldwide.
This is fucking insane.
And there might be some more that I'm missing, like little things here and there.
Take Over Old Guard.
Take Over Old Guard is the very first thing, which is like a single.
Okay.
Maybe Push It Away or
Street
something.
King?
Street King, I don't know.
CBGB.
I like the sound.
CBGB Masters Live June 10th, 2004, the Bowery Collection. They have a live album.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
I didn't even know that existed.
That's right.
So they have, let's see, you want to fucking, this is how many videos they made, music videos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 music videos.
A true pro-core band.
That is pro. First one was Push It Away, which I don't remember what that one was.
It's the only song I know.
Like ever by them?
Yep.
Yes. No, that's not true.
No.
I swear to God.
You know Keepers of the Faith?
No.
No, I don't know that song.
No.
Keepers of...
Push It Away is the only song I know.
Hey, I know that song from Lavalette because some guy walks around with a picture with a guy. You know, sorry.
I did listen to the first track on this new record today.
Mosh.
Yeah.
It's very mosh.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
You hear the rap track?
I have not gotten to the rap track.
Yeah. I mean, the record is good. Total Retaliation.
Yeah. The fact that they're doing this far into their career and it's still...
How many LPs do they have? Is it 7?
Please hold.
Yeah.
We have One with the Underdogs in 2004. Always the Hard Way, 2006. The Damned, the Shamed, 2008. Keepers of the Faith, 2010. Live by the Code, 2013. The 25th Hour, 2015. And Total Retaliation, 2018. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 LPs.
And not counting Lowest of the Low, which is an EP.
Right.
EP, right.
Yeah.
It would now be a good time to mention that I have a lot of respect for Terror.
Sorry, I really like Less Than Jake.
Wow.
I want to actually kill myself.
Wow. I had no idea that you're a secret Jake fan over here.
No secret. No, yeah. They're celebrated. Celebrated artists in Brick, New Jersey.
So I got a lot of respect for Terror, despite the fact that I don't necessarily need another Terror record again in my life. But I listened to the first song before we came over here, thought it was heavy, thought it was fucking good.
They're either sick of it all for this generation,
yes,
or something even more than that. It almost feels sacrilege to say that, but I mean they are. Lowest of the Low comes out in 02, 01, 02?
I think it was 02.
02,
yeah.
And now it's 16 years later. So Sick of It All 7-inch comes out in 88. Sick of It All plus 16 puts it to 2004. Terror is more relevant in 2018 than Sick of It All was in 2004, and I'm not saying that as a
in
diss.
the States, probably.
In the States,
anywhere
totally.
else but United States, Sick of It All.
Right, Sick of It All still does
honestly,
do the thing,
yeah, I mean,
and like that's a huge compliment, and it's pretty amazing to see what they do, and I think they keep it fresh not only for themselves but their fans, and they reinvent themselves. So
sort of. I was thinking about this. Can Terror only
Tear?
Yeah.
I just can't think of it without George Bush.
That Sam Rockwell portrayal of him in that.
It's fucked up.
It's really good.
Yeah.
You know what though? Fuck Christian Bale for taking a fucking job away from a fat actor, man.
This is where
Dude,
you're going with it.
fucking
This is
APAC.
your agenda.
Yeah,
okay,
really,
right,
man?
all
Come
right,
on, dude.
all right. He's convincing though. I thought
He
was
is
good.
he's a great actor, but come on.
So
What's Jason Alexander doing right now? You couldn't fucking throw some makeup on him?
that's a good point.
Come on, dude.
That's a
You're
good point.
killing Summer George.
So they can only go an inch in either direction, right? That's what all these like Sick of It All.
Well, that's a good question. Can they go? Well, I think like Sick of It All, Madball, Terror. Like,
but okay, so Sick of It All. We talk about this. Sick of It All has hard songs, and they've got songs that lean kind of oi-ish or street punk or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, and those are the two. That's the latitude of Sick of It All
that's where they
in
can
2018,
balance,
right?
yeah.
And
they can go a little faster. They can slow it down a little more in those ranges too.
And Terror can go slightly more metal, and people didn't.
The Damned Ashamed, I feel like, is the one record they put out that didn't get a good response.
That's the metal one, right?
Yeah.
Right, and I've actually seen more recently some people go back to that and go, no, that's a cool record.
At
Not
the time,
a lot.
I feel like
no,
people
it definitely
kind of-
didn't.
yeah.
I think it was the record that
There's
they
gonna-
needed Keepers of the Faith to come back from.
Yes,
right?
but there's going to be people. I mean, you said it. There's going to be people that revisit that. That's their favorite record of,
Sure,
the.
of course,
you know what I
right,
mean.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the way that goes. But it's just interesting. Like, I'm sure Terror seems to have a fucking great time when they play, and but it just bands that when you've been around a long time, you only get a certain latitude from your fans. It's very, to me, it's like
It's limiting.
Yeah.
Did you feel that?
no,
No.
because.
Yeah, different level. Very different level.
Well, firstly, I mean, I sell 1/80th of what they fucking
correct.
sell. So
and totally, it's a different scale. And I mean, we talked about it with Indecision / Most vs. Blood. It's like there's an expectation of what if you guys were to do another record, what that would sound like.
Yeah.
And like there's a part of that that's like, damn, do we get out of our safe zone? Will it be good? Would we get? And we talked about it with Gorilla Biscuits. If that Civ record was called Gorilla Biscuits Set Your Goals, everybody would look at it differently. You know, even though how much different if you said, hey, Gorilla Biscuits is going to write an LP in 1989 that's going to come out start today. 7 years later, they took a little break. They do another record called Set Your Goals. It's going to sound a little different. It would sound like what the fucking Civ record sounds like.
Yeah.
You know?
it would be my favorite Gorilla Biscuits record.
It's not totally wrong.
There's a lot. I don't
Very good
think.
record.
I think you're saying that like with a thieving grin,
Like tongue in cheek, but it's
But no, he's saying it real. I know he
It's
believes
real.
it.
I love that Civ record.
But I don't.
great record.
I don't know if it's as controversial as of an opinion as you think.
No, I'm smiling like you guys were going to definitely disagree, but you're like, I can see it.
as a record guy. Which record do you think sold more? I would think the Civ record sold more than GB.
I don't know the numbers on that.
I feel like
know the
GB might have
record
been
has
close
done
to
very
like it's got to be over 500.
well. No, not close.
I'm saying Civ. I'm sorry. That's what I meant.
Civ.
I mean, they
it's a
opened for
really tough
Kiss.
question.
They
They
played them
opened
during
for Kiss,
fucking
and they were
Rangers
in the
games.
height of CDs.
Yeah.
and they hit mainstream. I wouldn't be surprised if it was over 250, but not 500.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think GB
That's
did?
what I would think.
If you had a guess.
I know what it did.
Okay.
So you
Less
can't.
than
So
that
you,
or more?
so you
Less
can't
than
say. Okay.
Less than
Really? That's it?
250.
And that's the biggest. No, Inside Out's the biggest
Inside
rap
Out's
record. Yeah. Which is
So
wild.
today's
to
the
me.
biggest full length.
Wow.
But you got to remember too, it's the same. That's why the argument for the Civ record being such a high seller, I'm like, it might be 300, it might be 500, it could be. I don't think it's 500, but I bet it's over 300. Inside Out, Rage Against the Machine hits, and that Inside Out CD they could just put everywhere, and it's got Zach's face on it.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no better selling point. Like,
No, it's true.
if it's like even a goddamn big sticker, it's like, no, here's the dude. You know what he looks like.
Yep.
Here he is. Sell a hell of him. So, I think
Also, more of a saleable face than Civ.
yeah, that's true. That's true. No diss, Civvy.
No diss.
Yeah.
You got a lot of
Zach's
lot
a
of-
good-looking guy. He's got
other
a
good-
distinct look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Civ's got a lot of their good attributes. you
Yeah,
know?
I think he's a property owner in New York City. God bless.
Saw
Do
him
your
with
thing.
saw him with his kids. Seemed like a great family man.
Good for him.
Who's
That's
Zach?
wonderful.
No.
Civ.
Oh, Civ.
Although I do know what Zach orders from the burrito place because one of my bandmates delivered Postmated him burritos to him the other day.
Was it cool?
He was polite. The order is a bit surprising. I won't share it.
Next on the
he's
new
got this-
Instagram.
I won't share it here.
There's a look of judgment, so I think I know where it's going.
It's a little judgmental.
Double meat.
A little too much bacon on that.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, it's been nice knowing you guys.
It's over.
Shout outs to Terror for doing what they do and enjoying what they do. The Total Retaliation record seems like it's doing well.
I'm going to listen to the whole thing.
I've seen a lot of hype on it. I've seen a lot of people excited about it. And, credit to them for being able to do that and bring excitement and keep doing it. I'm wondering if there's going to be a new generation where this is their first Terror record.
I mean, I think that was the case with Keepers of Faith.
Yeah.
Keepers of Faith.
That was like a renaissance. It was a renaissance.
It was a renaissance.
Yes.
Total renaissance for them. But like even that, like the Knock Loose, Terror did that tour with Knock Loose. I wonder if this is an introduction to a whole generation of kids who might have seen them for the first time there.
Well, I mean, we'll see on this tour.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
right. So speaking of that, their tour mates, not Harm's Way, who we'll get to, not Year of the Knife, who we talk about here, not Backtrack,
who we also talk about here,
Candy, Good to Feel. How we feeling? We feeling good? Patrick's plugging in his computer.
Okay, this is the
Pat's
band.
got a hat on. It's kind of weirding me out.
He
looks like someone, like a Parks Department worker that someone forgot that they locked him in somewhere. And
Parks Department intern.
Yeah, but it's like, oh shit, we forgot him in the fucking.
I had a short sleeve button up the other day, and wore like single color.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And wore this, and I just.
You definitely look like you work
uniform.
At the
Yes, exactly right. Okay, so I feel great about this Candy record. I think that this is
a lot of people do.
Yeah, look, this is just an exciting band. It's a cool moment for them. You never know where things are going to go. It's still, quote unquote, just a hardcore release, so like it won't get any of the bigger looks and all that shit that some people care about.
I believe that though.
I don't know. I mean,
there's a sheen to it that makes it a little different. I feel like. I can always tell like when a record's gonna pop when my friends that don't listen to every hardcore record is like, "Yo, have you heard this Candy band?" I'm like, "Of course we have, man. I'm the part of the voice of the culture, man. Of course I heard that shit. We were big enough to 7-inch a year ago."
I mean, look, I'm not.
We've been big up in the LP on speculation. We were buying futures on this.
Yeah, we were.
Right. You know what I mean? But I feel like there's just a little bit to it. Just like you said with Gouge Away, like they could be like they fit in that weird area outside of like normal hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like so does Candy, and if someone, it's heavy.
It could.
It's got fucking weird.
Heavy. It's fast.
I didn't mean to take anything away from it.
No, not in a bad way. But I feel like they're more than just like straight core.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that either.
No, it definitely is. I just don't know if this is the record that's going to reach that other person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The next one might.
Like
now, here's my question for you guys because I've thought about it myself. Is Candy, and we can give you one or the other. Is Candy a heavy band who is playing to the who needs to be playing to the more straightforward hardcore kids, or is trying to get there? Or is Candy a more straightforward hardcore band who's playing heavier stuff and should be leaning in and playing to the more heavy audience?
I say they should go the Harm's Way route.
Yeah.
So play to heavier audiences,
Yeah.
play to different, diverse stuff. What do you say?
Yeah, I guess I'll go with that. Look, I also think that there could be a moment right now of bands that shouldn't concern themselves with kind of.
I mean, I know where you're going. So,
like, look, if Candy, Regional Justice Center,
and Self Defense Family want to go on a tour in December?
Want to go on a tour, that would be fascinating. Yeah. But what I'm saying is there would be.
You heard it here first.
Thank you.
Can we do
the Seinfeld one?
No, that was the MTV News.
Yeah.
I'm Kurt Loder. Yeah. You've heard it here first. Candy, Regional Justice Center, Self Defense Family, West Coast Tour.
Details to follow.
Yeah.
Here's the point, though. If those two bands, and I'm sure that if we sat here, we could think of many others, wanted to do a thing that was, hey, we are the bands of the moment. And we're not interested in we'll play with Terror, you know what I mean? We'll play with whoever, but
we'll play with Gouge Away.
They just have to be open to the whatever gets.
I mean that's my push to almost every band is be open to the odd fit
or not. If you don't, if you want to be a fucking hardcore band,
yeah.
Like if Blind Justice doesn't want to go on tour with whatever the fuck, then that's fine because that's what they want to do.
Totally, but
if you want to make it,
but if you want, you don't have to do that. But I would even say to a band who doesn't want to do it, if you go and play your thing in front of, Blind Justice is a great example. They went and did 5 or 6 dates on a Terror tour that was like Terror, Code Orange, Blind Justice, and one other band.
Yeah.
And they came away from being like, yeah, it was awesome. We played to kids who didn't necessarily know us. Some of the kids who know us went crazy, sold a bunch of stuff because people liked what we were doing. It was cool. We had fun.
So, like, if Weezer asks you to go on tour, maybe you take it.
Not me. But I guess what I'm saying is
that's what we call a callback in a bit.
if
we're gonna start doing footnotes of that.
If
Dave Ackerman's gonna do it.
If the bands that are heavy but have a different vibe than heavy,
yes, absolutely,
wanted to tour together and carve out their space,
a new space, or I guess like a space of the moment. I think that would benefit them in the same way that. Look, Code Orange has toured with a number of different bands, right? Certainly took support slots while they were coming up and benefited from those support slots. But has also over the years, and we talked about it, sort of done their best to tour in a way that says we are in a third lane. Do you understand? Like we're
heavy and we're into hardcore, but we're Code Orange,
right? And that's what I think that some of these bands like Candy should do, which is just find the odd fit hardcore bands and play with them because. And I wouldn't say this if those bands weren't popping, but I think that there's enough of them that'll pop.
2019, if you do a Code Orange, Harm's Way, Vane, fucking Candy tour.
Well, hold on.
Well, and I would say, go ahead.
Do a Vane headliner, Candy immediately under. Candy's benefiting from that like a motherfucker.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's Vane. Look, Vane's a great example. Vane is a fucking aggressive, heavy ass band, and
they're carving out their own little
whether you love them or you hate them, it's to one side of the lane, and it's going to matter in the long term.
Yeah.
And I just think that like Candy. Some of these bands are just heavy bands.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing, right? Sorry, I'm off on one right now. But
yeah,
the yerba is kicking in.
Yeah, it really is.
But okay, so Vane doing their own thing.
Yes.
Candy doing their own thing. But we could probably find bands that musically are not, but vibe-wise,
sure,
are enough in that space that they could all tour together and start a new thing.
Like
totally.
Jesus Piece?
Yeah, you say they're in that lane.
So Jesus Piece is interesting because they have their own thing, but are still looked at, I think, as heavy. That's heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
More standard lane heavy. I think it's interesting. I think not in that space that you're speaking of, that like maybe there's this new world. Like we were talking about this new wave of non-core. There might be a new type of heavy.
Right.
That I'm not like Code Orange is different than Vane. Vane is different than Code Orange. Candy is different than Vane. Vane is different than Candy. Candy is certainly different than Code Orange. I really like Candy. I think Vane's all right. Code Orange is not my kind of thing. But there's different shades, and you go, these bands are doing heavy in a new way. And, I think on the Power Trip episode with Riley, he said, he's like, he wants to do a big tour with a bunch of big bands. The idea of what does heavy music look like in the future, like how is that going to survive? The idea of it not being the exact same thing that's been there for the past 10 years or 10 years before that, or some retro thing thrown back. I also think the idea of bands having a sound that maybe is more traditional or is more recognizable to be a thing, like Candy's sound is more recognizable to a traditional hardcore kid than say Vane.
Yes.
And that's kind of why it's getting this kind of momentum. I think a band like Fury has a very traditional sound, but the vibe they're going for is a little different, and I'm curious to see what their next record. Their record's supposed to be coming out sometime in the next few months here.
Yeah, well, actually, let's talk on that. So they're on Run for Cover, and it's not because they're a big band, because labels, look, if labels were truly just banks, they would just take the biggest bands they could find.
Correct.
But there has to be some curation there. And the reason that band is on Run for Cover is because Run for Cover looked at it and said, this is enough in our space.
And we think this could work to our space. Yep.
Yeah.
Which is a cool thing to say. And to think about these bands. And like, to me, I think about a Fury Candy tour being cool.
That record's done, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, no shit.
They're working on a few things. I think the art.
What's it called? Something like Infinite Jest, but it's not.
It's not. That was gonna be the name. I have it somewhere.
He mentioned it on.
Jeremy did mention it.
Can I read a question that I got?
Yeah, of course.
And we'll be seeing them Saturday.
Terror Total Retaliation Tour is soon, and admittedly, I live in the Bay, so I've only seen the Hard Times flyer for it. But it appears Candy opens the entire touring lineup behind Year of the Knife and Harm's Way as direct support over Backtrack. Seems wacky to me. Candy seems to have way more hype than Year of the Knife, and Backtrack is an institution, whereas Harm's Way get a lot of hate. Oh, I didn't know that. Are these moves reflective of numbers or skewed to more of a terror crowd as opposed to a hardcore kid audience? That's the question I got. What's your feeling? I don't think there's any. This to me did not strike me. Yes, I could see Candy playing over Year of the Knife. I could see that maybe. And Backtrack is an institution, and I could see them certainly playing over Harm's Way.
It's interchangeable. I'm surprised that it wasn't interchangeable.
That's what
like that they kind of pulled like. I mean, not to be a dick, but like, would you want to be Harm's Way after Backtrack in New York?
No, not
or
New York.
in Cali in certain places. I mean, it should kind of be more regional. I would think. I feel like Candy has a ton of buzz.
Yep.
But like Cheddar was saying, this is their first time they've gone out for more than like 3 days.
Yep. That's right. And
Year of the Knife just did a fucking Knock Loose tour
with Terror.
So who knows?
Spots,
yeah. So I mean, I think it's tough. I mean, I think it's.
I thought when we talked about it, we kind of divided it. It was like, all right, here's Terror, and then there's Backtrack and Harm's Way, and then there's Candy and Year of the Knife.
Yeah.
And Candy's got this heat off this record that literally just came out. But what's that mean in Sheboygan?
Yeah, I mean,
still the first time they're playing there.
Yep.
There might be some people more excited than maybe if they were just coming off the street. But Year of the Knife's done a bunch more now, and kudos to them for doing the work hard.
That's too many bands for me, but a good lineup.
Yo, is now the time for us to talk about package tours? Because 5 bands is tough to me.
5 bands is very tough. Unless
maybe we just leave it there.
Unless everybody's sharing gear, and the first 2 acts are playing for 15 minutes.
But I also think it's rough on the fucking scene. The local scene is more important to me. I mean, it's just kind of like some of these shows do have openers. Like Akulu is opening the Brooklyn show.
Yep.
Literally their first show.
No shit.
Cheddar's in it now.
Yep.
Okay.
Which I didn't realize. But I mean, did we talk about this? Or
I don't know that we talked. I mean, we've talked about it privately. I think
it's rough.
It's rough because if that's a 3-band package and there's a local or 2, that's big exposure. If it's a 4-band package and there's 1 local, rad. 5's tough. Now this tour, I'm going to give an asterisk because it's a Terror album tour. They're probably playing decent sized rooms. Not. It's not going to be the VFW hall every night. There might be 1 or 2 on the tour, I'm sure. But, this is... The package tour thing is tough. And let's dive into it another time because I think I might get dark on it.
Is it a necessary evil, though, at this point?
No. I'm going to wait because I think I have a very different opinion than you guys. So we'll do
saved for next time.
We'll do point counterpoint on this next time.
Boom, ba-dum, boom, 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 ba-dum. It's a Megadeth baseline.
Yep.
So speaking of Megadeth,
totally underrated.
Sweating bullets. Yeah. I think they're a little overrated.
Rust in Peace?
People trying to say Rust in Peace is better than Metallica?
No.
You're out of your fucking mind.
So weird thing.
Better than Garage Days, maybe.
Sure. I mean,
I'll take it over.
Maybe.
I'll take Megadeth over Metallica, but I don't love either. And I think that Megadeth's failings are pretty glaring, which is that their songs are a full 2 minutes too long.
Right. And
which is painful.
And he sucks as a singer.
No, I love it.
God, he's like Bob Dylan of metal.
That's what I think puts them over Metallica.
Dude.
I love his voice.
Master of Puppets beats everything.
All right, so we're going to do the Raid, Both Worlds. What's the other one we have to listen to?
Oh, fuck. Overcast.
Raid, Both Worlds, Overcast, and we're going to make you listen to Master of Puppets and sit here. And
I'm not mad at Master of Puppets.
I mean, it's the best metal record ever.
Have you heard the song Whiplash? Yeah. Jesus Christ! Man.
Megadeth to me has some like really oddball choices that make it.
We're gonna do the
great.
vote on if Patrick should edit this part out for posterity. Where he just
No, I think we leave him in so he looks like the fucking idiot that he is. No, I'm kidding.
All right, so let's move on.
I'm a 1%er. You know what I mean? 1%.
There's none of that. It's good.
That's what we couldn't see. It's a fucking "Make America Great Again" hat over
1% of people.
Him and Kanye.
Jesus,
What
my
a
man is out of
dick.
control right now.
Anyone else notice that he's mentally ill?
Here's what's weird.
This is not a fucking. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna
I love it.
I'm gonna say something.
He ain't
that
trolling. He's sick.
I agree with you. I have a very dark view of this, like the darkest view. The darkest view that I have
Is it a dark, twisted fantasy?
is my dark, twisted fantasy.
It's the worst possible timeline.
Is that this man seems to be operating on the level of a 14-year-old intellectually and emotionally.
Yes.
And what I find disturbing about that is not that, because that's a person that has a struggle.
Yeah.
But I think that, like, Kim Kardashian, who I have no strong opinion on, like, right? Like, I don't,
Sure.
I don't know enough. I don't know enough of her personality. I've watched one episode of the Kardashians where
she seemed fine.
she pretended that she didn't know that there was such a thing as kill shelters, which is just such a bizarre thing to say. But anyway, how do you maintain a marriage to a 14-year-old? It feels disturbing to me.
I think it's part of it, right? You know, like it's just a separation of reality.
Yeah, like, so is she?
I mean, she's like a 14-year-old too, though. She's a really rich 14.
Is she unwell? Because he's unwell, and I'm not saying you can't love an unwell person.
Sure.
For sure. What I'm saying is he's unwell in a very clearly stunted way that gives an impression that he would be wholly unrelatable to an actual adult, right? Like people who have sat with him and had conversations with him walk away and say, he just repeats things that he heard recently. That's and like, yo, look, I know it's dark to say how could you love someone? How could you connect with them as an adult is what I'm saying.
Well,
you know
right. That's the thing you're asking.
many...
You're kind of assuming that in the relationship, and
that they connect at all. Yeah,
right.
no, that's
true.
That's true. That's
right.
true.
I mean, think how many people out there do connect with their significant others or family members that have mental illness and kind of.
See, but it's not mental illness. Like if he was depressed, if he was, anxious,
I think he's straight up psychotic.
But that's what I'm saying.
I think he had a psychotic break after his mom died in fucking plastic surgery, and that dude's not been right since.
I'm saying that does he read like a full adult to you?
I don't know.
I don't know enough, but I think he reads as someone who's not properly treated. Honestly,
no, I
mean, like the stuff he does, it's like everyone's like, I can't believe he would do this. I'm like, I don't think he's of his right mind.
Well, you interact with people who are unwell on the daily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to make you
I mean, case in point.
So I'm not trying to make you what do you call it? Like
I'm not an expert.
Yeah, you're not allowed to diagnose here, but but you are picking up on some fucking similarities, some commonalities between him and people that you see that are unwell.
Yeah.
I agree with all that. I'm just concerned that it's like he seems unrelatable. Not just to me because
he's that sick, though,
yes, that's what I'm saying.
And yeah, so how long is that? How long? Because you mentioned a pretty specific event.
I don't know how long ago his
years?
mom died.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
More than that, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, she died like getting plastic surgery done.
And
died
butt transplant or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. And he is of the celebrity level. I mean, I just think his reality is really warped, and it's really tough to be there. And I mean, how famous is he? Is he one of the top 5 most famous
He's
people
as famous
in America?
as you get in 2018,
the top 15 or 20 people.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know what that does. I don't think it's a healthy thing. I almost have qualms about the idea of people talking about it. You know, we can talk about anything we fucking want, and people do and have been forever. But it's interesting to think about what someone in that position is dealing with these kind of issues on that level of a public place.
Right. But think about a dude that's not doing well for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
You know, and then you're just surrounded by yes men.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck as long as the check clears.
Yes men and family, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the vibe I get as well.
So it's like no one's rushing this dude to the hospital.
People are still buying Yeezys. So.
Right. Yeah, no one's going to be like, this dude needs to probably go in for a little while because then the fucking funds.
Oh, and so this is a good question.
Who's taking care of this guy?
That's such a good question, is the idea that success or like financial success or financial health would be equated to mental health. And that, like, oh, he's a success. Everything's going well. He still sells tickets, still sells music.
Yeah.
So, but
that's all his people in his periphery give a shit about. They don't care about.
And they're associated and be like, he's still doing. He's a genius. But it's like, yeah, but it seems like something's unwell. And is anyone going to step up and say, hey, yeah, we know you still are doing well and all this stuff, but are you okay?
Well, I mean, think about it.
We, you know, like,
I mean, there's a very, very fine line between genius and madness.
Of course, yeah.
So who's to? I mean, and I don't know this guy. Maybe he's just
the definition shouldn't be the delineation shouldn't be. Well, is he a genius, or has he gone crazy, or is he just really mentally unwell? Maybe he's one or all of those things, but we shouldn't be making that determination purely on the fact that he's a financial success.
Oh no,
that he's a successful commercial figure.
No,
like that he is making the "I'm a sick fuck" song. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's great, cool. And the song's fine, but that still doesn't mean he's mentally well.
No, I mean, if you see a dude dancing around as a Perrier bottle on Saturday Night Live, which is what he did.
See,
I'm with that bit. I'm with the.
I don't think I am, because it's not self-aware. It's not like him being. No.
You know what was more problematic to me was it? I don't know if it was post SNL thing or post one of these recent award shows where he was going, but just he gave this interview and he just. Nobody has said it, and I hadn't thought of it, but he did come off very adolescent.
Yeah,
he seemed very young in a way that wasn't vibrant. It was young in that way of like, I don't know if you understand what you're being asked, in the way you're answering is disassociated.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just, every time I see him, I go, look, I don't do that thing. Like, you guys said something totally valid, which is who's looking out for this guy. But I always look at his closest relationship, because his wife seems to love him very much. But
seems loving.
But I always.
I mean, think about their lives. They don't have the same partnership that you have with Amelia and Bob with Amanda. It's they're all getting told if they see each other an hour a fucking day. It's a lot.
It's a good question. Is like, what is a day in that dude's life like? Like, is that
dude's not sitting at home watching TV with his wife?
Right, he doesn't. 90% of the time, it's not an 8 to 5. Like, oh, I went and did work. I was in the studio for a while, and then I had a couple meetings and did this, and then I came home and
me and the kids went to dinner.
And we played for a little while before bedtime, and then we chilled and like talked or drank wine or anything that would qualify under the idea of normal. It's like, oh yeah, there's the crew is here all day, or like now I'm doing this, and
If I had to make I can't diagnose somebody without seeing them in person.
Yep.
If it came out that this dude was bipolar.
Oh, no, he's already said he is.
Oh.
He said he is.
Look at me.
Well, I wonder if he's
self-diagnosing.
manic. That's the thing. Is like, is he just saying that I am that and going untreated? You know what I mean? Right.
Well, he recently said that he's free again because he's off meds.
Oh, there you go.
And
Say no more.
Right. And to people that believe in Western medicine, being off your meds is not always the move. So. I don't know. I just find him. Sorry for everybody that wanted a hardcore podcast, but this is the Kanye hour. I just
Scon Kanye. You got it.
It's Kanye.
It's Kanye. All right, we'll leave it at that.
That's an album.
I'm done.
Mac Miller. There you go, buddy. You're welcome.
I've been playing around with doing some like sampling, so I'm going to work on that.
Done. Skanye. All right. Where were we?
Let's go in a new direction.
Okay.
Bang.
Gorilla Biscuits playing. By the time you hear, maybe you'll hear this before this, right?
I'm hoping you might hear this in the next.
If the Wizard
next 12,
sure,
perfect.
48.
Oh yeah, what's today?
Today's Wednesday.
Oh, we'll get it.
We gotta get that Thursday.
12 hours.
It's good.
Tomorrow morning.
We'll see. We got less edits on this.
No edits.
No edits.
Right? We didn't say anything.
Straight from the hip.
Except that whole part that he said about
Metallica, but I mean, we can't all be perfect. We should have done this live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll log into Instagram Live now.
We could do that, right?
We could. Gorilla Biscuits is playing Saturday, the 6th of October, 2018 at the Knockdown Center.
In the year of our Lord.
2018. Gorilla Biscuits, Incendiary, Negative Approach, Culture Abuse, Fury. Those are all, that's like 5 headline level bands.
Fucking ridiculous.
Warthog, Gouge Away, Praise, Death Bells, underrated band, Death Bells, Weeping Icon. I'm not familiar with them.
Love the name.
Weeping Icon, great.
Tell me about Death Bells. I don't know anything about them.
On Funeral Party Records, kind of darkish, like weird music. Worth checking out. I think you might actually be able to vibe on it.
It's such a fucking weird lineup.
Weird lineup.
Weeping Icon is very dark Brooklyn punk.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, call me intrigued.
And the price tag for this show is $0.
It's free 99.
It's one of them thank you major corporate sponsorship shows.
Yes.
The Deathmatch. Is this Vans? Vans hooked it up?
Thrasher.
Vans and Thrasher. Ooh. Are these shows good?
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I mean, I've been to enough Vans, House of Vans shows.
I think they're really good. Especially when the lineup's good like that. When you have... So you have Incendiary, super relevant. Negative Approach, just legends. Culture Abuse, super relevant. Fury, super relevant. Warthog, super relevant. Gouge Away, super. It's all relevant. It's a mixed bag. Mm-hmm. But I think if you go there and you're only going to see Gorilla Biscuits,
you are missing out.
Well, you're missing out, or you're keying in and you might be able to like at least 1, 2, 3 of these bands.
Oh, I thought you meant like only go to see.
Yeah. No, if you're going to this with the idea like Gorilla Biscuits and a bunch of bands I've never heard, cool. Yeah. Or if you're a young kid and you're only there to see fucking Incendiary, same deal. Holy shit.
Right, and you see Negative Approach, you're like, holy shit, now it makes all the sense in the world. I think it's awesome. I'm actually really, really excited for this concert.
Do I have to RSVP or some shit? Can I get in?
Yeah, you probably should have done that a long time ago.
You probably still can. Actually, the RSVP is funny. So if you hear this and you're keeping in mind, I got the email today saying, remember, the RSVP just reserves you the ability to be in the building.
Right, you still got it.
But it's still first come, first serve. So you get there late and they fill it up. But it's a big room.
Apparently this place fits 1,800 people.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, you know what? House of Fans is pretty fucking gigantic. Or probably comparable to 1,800 people. And I forget, it was one, I don't know if it was the GB Bouncing Souls Turnstile show or something. Like, what do you think about that now? You're like, how the fuck did that even happen? I feel like they did someone told me the number. So it's like, say, 2,000 people were allowed in the building. They took like 8,000 RSVPs or something. Like something like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, this is more just kind of like you're going there for the show.
Yes.
House of Fans is a lot of like, you can drink for free and there's tacos. And it was like more, it's like, you motherfuckers don't like this shit.
Yeah.
I would go somewhere for free tacos too. So
on the topic of corporate sponsored hardcore shows, I think this is a quaint conversation because I don't think most people care in 2018. Mm-hmm. But if you are a if you're a butt flap sort of motherfucker out here and you care, that's cool. I'm not mad at that opinion. But what I will say is that take it from a touring musician. If you beef with this, but you go to Live Nation shows, you're confused. You know what I mean? Because one is much more a detriment to your vibrant subculture than the other. The corporately sponsored show is still an oddity. It's still a thing that happens a couple times a year in major cities. It is not the same as a very frighteningly narrow-minded corporation buying up every small venue in the United States.
Right, and who tells you how much things cost and how much fees are on top of the ticket and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, and
this is a win-win. You get to go to a free show, and the bands you like get paid.
Right.
Yes. What the fuck's the difference?
So,
and it's Vans.
So butt flap, calm down.
Thrasher.
Cool. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's like, I always felt like the fucking Scion shit was weird. I wasn't opposed to it necessarily, but I just thought that was like, it's
at the time it was a weird fit.
What are you getting out of this?
So you wanted to get the backstory on that?
I think you told us.
Maybe. I don't think I told it on the air.
Oh, maybe not.
One of the people who was instrumental in setting up the Scion shows was a guy who worked doing PR while I worked at Revelation. He worked with me, and then he was working for Scion. I believe he works for one of the Italian motorcycle company now,
Ducati or something.
Maybe Moto Guzzi or something. Yeah, like a nice like.
We will do a show for Moto Guzzi if they.
I would in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, his job. Part of his job is going and riding these motorcycles around the country. It's pretty cool.
Good for him.
But he helped put this together. I think a few other people who worked at Scion who were genuinely interested and enthusiastic about underground music.
Yeah,
and they were part of the marketing, the whole thing. And they're like, one of Scion's targets was young, alternative lifestyle type humans. And they're like, oh, what's a better way to get our name as a recognizable thing? Let's put on free music things. And pumped a bunch of money into the fucking thing.
And they probably sold less than 10 cars to that crowd.
Oh, sure.
Oh, and you know what? This is the payoff, though, is the people who are going to those shows 3, 4, 7 years later was Scion a name they considered more so. And that's the part that is interesting to me is at the corporate level, what are the payoffs? They're not looking at it's not like this the thing where it's like oh we did an ad in the paper and got 15 people, or oh we went and did this and this many people use the coupon code. It's more brand awareness. And hey, fuck it, Vans, they know brand awareness. They got fucking
God knows
Henry
half the people
shit
at the fucking show are going to be wearing their shoes anyway.
That's right. And that is a big piece of all this. So there's some parts of me that could go, it's icky, but I'm 100% in for this stuff.
Yeah, I'm not.
It pays the band, and it makes it a free show. And to me, this is a great opportunity. We talk about like, bring your friends who aren't into hardcore to a show.
Yeah,
bring your friend to a show.
Yeah.
If you are under the age of 22, and I don't care what your interaction is, if you're listening to, if you hear the sound of our voice, and you got a friend who's sort of into shit, bring them to this show. They'll find something, and they'll enjoy the hell out of it.
That's true.
100%.
I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, okay. Should be a fun show. All right. Speaking of being a touring musician, Chicago, the Dream Team, Harm's Way.
Oh,
yeah, true. As you were. Harm's Way had their trailer stolen in Las Vegas. You ever have shit stolen from you on tour?
No, I sleep in the van.
You ever have shit stolen from you on tour?
Actually, I won't bore you with this incredibly long story, but I fell asleep. Maybe in fucking Missouri. I forget where the fuck I was. Fell asleep.
A bridge for the interest of time.
In the van, and woke up, and my laptop was gone, and I assumed that I had left it in the previous city because how else could it disappear?
Andy Rice in the bathroom with the laptop, volume on mute.
Then
my wallet's gone.
Then I'm overseas. And I see that an email that I have an appointment at the Genius Bar because whoever stole it. I remember this. So I'm frantically calling from Glasgow, trying to fucking get police to just show up and fucking take care of this.
Where is this? Like Springfield, Missouri, or some shit?
I forget where the fuck I was. It was someplace. It's a pity I can't remember because the dude said to me was hilarious. I go, hey man. He has an appointment, so all you got to do is be there, right? And he goes, this guy's getting stabbed out here, man. That's what the detective said to me. He goes, maybe if we got a car driving by, but I'll be honest, we got people getting stabbed out here. So cops wouldn't show up.
Yes. And
then I finally get a nice old lady on the phone.
Nice.
And she tells me, she goes, if you call 911, they have to show up. So then I worked with the people at Apple at the store. And
so Angela Lansbury put you on.
I straight up like set up a sting operation. Like, so I've got the
This is one of your best stories, and you're just no selling it.
Yeah. No, I'm not selling it at all. But I got like Kim at the Apple store calling me, being like, he's here. He's in the building. And I'm like calling 911 from Glasgow, which by the way doesn't work.
So I was going to say, how does that work? I've never.
So you have to call the
country code. Then
no. You got to call police there and say, hey, could you put me through to 911? I'm confused about my. But at any rate, so the dude gets busted, stolen from a foot away from my head while I was sleeping.
That's
how
ballsy.
Amazing.
That's a ballsy guy.
Yeah.
I almost
should have let him keep it.
Yeah, 100. I mean, he stole all. It was wiped anyway. No, police. Honestly, so Kim at the Apple store is like, she says, "Hey, police just left," and I said, "Okay. Do they need anything from me?" And she goes, "No, we've got your laptop. Do you want it?" And I said, "Police."
Yes, please.
I said, "Yeah, but police didn't like."
Arrest the guy or anything?
She said that they walked away with him and just left my computer, and so then they mailed it to me. But like the police were just like, "Oh, you're a bad guy, huh? Oh well, Apple, this belongs to you, I guess." You know what I mean?
You'll figure out where it goes.
Yeah. It was so weird.
Wow.
But, but that was that stuck out in my mind. Of
detective work from across the world.
Yo, I was on one. I was like, seriously,
I'm going to make this happen.
Yeah, I was a cop for a day. I was trying to fucking crack this fucking case. I didn't tell you that story. Like
I knew that story.
It's amazing.
So no, here's a part of it. Yeah. I'm on the phone with 911 with the police, and I'm like, and they're like, "Okay, what's he wearing?" And I was like, "Oh, Kim said brown pants. He's wearing brown pants." And they go, "Okay, what's the guy's race?" And I go, white. and
I don't believe in gender or race. I don't know.
Well, I didn't know. But in my head, I'm like, white, and that's what came out of my mouth. And they go, okay, thanks. And then I get off the phone, and now I'm on texting relationship with Kim. Yes. I text Kim.
iMessage. Yeah, stay on brand.
Right. And I said, hey, guy was white, and she goes, Arab. And then I have to call back, go back through 911 and go, he's Arab, because
it's even worse.
Because they were about to go just go through the mall looking for a white guy with brown pants.
Oh my God.
But it was my moment of it was the closest I've ever gotten to being a detective for real. So when we talked about Patrick,
I feel like that's really far from being a real
mall detective. No, I think that's what detectives do.
They go, he's
when
Arab.
you talked about the detective with the cool ponytail.
Yes, when we're talking about ponytail detective,
Yeah.
I think this is what he does.
It solves Apple Store crimes.
All right.
Yeah.
So did you got the laptop back? That's not the one we're looking at, is it?
I got the laptop back and it was completely wiped.
Wow.
So the only reason I needed it back, it's a 10-year-old laptop. I don't actually need it back, but it had a 120-page screenplay on it that I was like, oh, I didn't save that anywhere else. I'm so dumb.
Yeah.
And I got it back and it was wiped, and I was very sad.
That sucks.
I was sad. It's the only reason I wanted it. That's me.
More.
That's me.
On Law and Order
Yes.
518.
51 vape.
Yes. Our sponsors. Thank you.
Yeah. If you enter the code Axe to Grind at the 51 Vape store
See how
in
that
person.
Goes, see how that goes for you.
I heard about you guys that if you go to the 51 Vape store and mention Axe to Grind, we'll send you $2, Cash App, whatever you got.
Is that an actual store?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Where is it? Let's find it.
It's in Albany.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be.
That's where they're selling the tickets for the One King Down show, man. That's how I knew that.
But how did you know that?
I had 2 different people text me that.
Wow.
Because it was on, they're like, you can get them on Ticketmaster or this. There are also tickets at I didn't. I thought it was 51 Vape, and I was like, oh, it's 51 Vape.
Maybe it's at the 51 Vape in Schenectady, or 51 Vape Colony, or 51 Vape Latham, Clifton Park, or Rensselaer.
Jesus. Is
Wow.
there not one on Lark Street or something?
Wow.
No true Albany location,
Wow.
but all the surrounding areas you're covered. 5 convenient 51 Vape locations.
And they sell tickets to
Apparently.
hardcore shows? Is that what
One King Down shows.
Okay,
Come
all
on.
right, all right.
Yeah, that's pretty.
The real shit.
Okay.
All right. So Harm's Way. We got. Did you ever have anything stolen from you on tour?
Other than my youth?
Yeah.
And Jenny McCarthy picture.
My Jenny McCarthy pick? No. I should never mention
Deep
that
cuts.
thing.
Deep
Yeah.
cuts.
Yeah, we got robbed on my last tour with Indecision in Vancouver. Our booking agent sent us to the wrong venue. Funny enough, you know who booked the show? Aram. When he lived in Vancouver.
There we go.
And we were playing with Strain. It was Silent Majority, Millhouse, us, and Strain
Wow, that's
in
weird.
Vancouver.
That's
Big
no
show.
cool. That's a cool show.
It was nuts.
Was it a Strain reunion? Got to be, right?
No,
98.
time. Yeah.
They were around. They were
98,
the
okay,
fucking
sorry.
Vancouver.
Millhouse.
98.
Yeah. Come on.
And we parked, we went to go do something, and then I think it was someone from Silent Majority was like, is that someone coming out of your van? So we rented 2 vans and had the 3 bands strewn throughout the 2 vans. We go, they broke the window, stole a bunch of shit. So there was some, and apparently at the time Vancouver had the highest heroin use per
I think it was the
square
heroin
mile.
capital
Yeah,
of
it was
North America
insane.
for a long time.
I was there 4 months ago. I confirmed. Still killing. Yeah, still.
And it was, so we kind of went vigilante, caught a bunch of people with our stuff.
No
we
shit.
were going up and down the alleys.
You're more of a detective than I am. I'm just making
Just
phone
a
calls
group.
out here.
No, we were there was 15 of us. We were going. But going up and driving up and down the alleys and people shooting up between their toes.
Yeah,
and it was
yeah,
it ran.
Keep going.
All right.
It sounds good in the background.
All right. It really ran the gamut of that person's definitely. And then there were people in suits and ties shooting up between their fucking toes so you wouldn't see the track marks. Yeah. We found somebody with a bunch of stuff. We chased him into a bodega, whatever Vancouver may have.
Yeah.
And got stopped at the door when 2 guys pulled guns on us.
No shit.
And the cops were like, so everyone in town is looking for you guys now because we might have roughed some people up. They're like, it's a loss. You really want to get out of here. By the time it gets dark, you need to get the fuck out of here.
No shit.
So we had to drive out of Vancouver with plastic bags for windows, and there was somebody walking around. I had a MasterCard straight edge shirt that got stolen and a Fiona Apple tape because we had tapes at the time because it was 1998. Sure. They stole all my shit. So I had to get money wired to me from my family because I literally had no money.
Sure.
These were one of those we weren't making tons of money on that tour. And when we got to Revelation, they're like, you guys got stuff stolen from you guys. And we were like, yeah. And they're like, please go into the warehouse, take whatever you want as far as clothes.
That's
nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Good luck.
It was really awesome. It was
Good
very
job,
cool.
Rev.
Yeah, thank you. 1998.
So you were all wearing the same oversized Iceburn shirt.
So I took the Youth of Today X and a Gorilla Biscuit shirt.
Nice.
Elliot was there at the same time.
Oh.
Had a nice conversation with a dude named Jay Palumbo.
Yeah.
Because he was like, you're the band that likes Susie and the Banshees, right? And I go, yeah. So it was cool. But yeah, so yes, we have gotten robbed. It's a fucking terrible thing. It's luckily they didn't take any of our equipment. It was just more personal effects. But I couldn't imagine.
So the whole trailer just taken. So that's what
just
happened.
fucking everything. Yeah.
So it's everything, all the merch, and so that's a big loss.
So
that's not something you can prepare
and
for.
it was
and I want to say something about that.
before day one of tour.
Was
before
it?
Day
Were they going from
one.
Chicago to meet up in Cali?
Yes.
Motherfucker.
The first show was Friday.
Staying at the
in
Luxor,
LA.
they're just gambling, having a good time.
On the rest stop. Vegas to LA is like 4.5, 5 hours. They stop. Let's hang. Cheap hotel.
Yeah.
Next day in LA, don't have any merch, don't have any gear.
Camera and everything. Like I remember reading the thing there. It's like there's no way. Like we've done this before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like there's no way this should have happened, and it happened.
So there's this ugly study that's out right now that the results of which indicate that that terrible thing that happens when people are victims of a sex crime, where people basically blame the victim and say, like, why weren't you better prepared for this, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
What this study says is that essentially that's a broader category than we ever understood, that people do that for almost all crimes, right? That people blame the preparedness of the victim across all sorts of crimes. I see this a lot with this type of crime.
I've been guilty of that.
Where you go, why weren't you guys sleeping in the van?
Well, not even that. Like when you hear like people, it's like they stole our laptop and our passports.
Right.
Motherfucker, you're staying at somebody's house?
Yeah,
bring your goddamn... I mean, you're not going to bring a fucking trailer inside.
Yeah,
Sure.
right.
But like I
Bring your personal effects.
Rachel Rosen was a fucking nightmare about this stuff because no matter where we went, even if we were going into a fucking rest stop for a minute, the cash box was in a camouflage bag, and we took turns. Everyone walked around with it. It was on our person at all times.
No, I'm with that.
So like, you know what? Like you're not going to carry, but you know what though? Like maybe don't leave your guitars in the van. But like people that it's like,
right.
I need $10,000 because my laptop got stolen and all of our passports. Assholes, bring them inside. These dudes, like, what are you gonna unload a fucking? You know, there's no way you can do that sort of stuff. They
Sure.
clipped the fucking. I mean, it was
Took the trailer off the van. That's crazy.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even know how to start.
Yeah. Every time this happens, you see people blame everybody.
Yeah, people that have probably never been on the road.
Never been on the road. Some band will get ripped off when they go into Denny's for 15 minutes. Actually, I think this is Harm's Way. Harm's Way has been robbed like 4 times. So bad luck. But here's the reality, is that every time you get robbed, you typically prepare for that more. So
Right.
I didn't see it very much this time.
No, yeah.
But anybody that is blaming Harm's Way, I need you to just stop, walk to your bathroom mirror, recite to yourself, I'm a dumb scumbag.
and punch yourself in the mirror like a Black Flag cover.
Yes.
Yes.
And then go sit down and throw your computer against the floor and don't use it, because it's that sort of comment, A, is not helpful after the fact.
Correct.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, it's of no value. And secondly, they got this covered, dudes. You know what I mean?
Like they've had this happen before.
Yeah.
They've made plans.
Yes. So, like, I didn't hear much of that this time, but I did hear it one time that they were robbed. This is an unlucky band, by the way. And Harm's Way, you're in my thoughts because that
Yeah.
shit sucks.
Yeah, I mean, before the tour even started, you depend on merch. You depend on things.
The very first, so they're loaded up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have
All going on a
everything. Yeah.
30-day
Yes.
tour, chock full. You
Yes.
know?
Right.
We can't tell any stories about bands that have gotten robbed and then stabbed the guy that robbed them or anything, right? There's statute of limitations on that, maybe. But
If you watch a New York Hardcore documentary, you could see somebody beat up somebody that got. Do you know of bands that have done that?
famously, there's a band that the fellow woke up with the guy in his the guy driving. I believe he stabbed him with a screwdriver.
Oh.
I don't know how you do that when somebody's driving. It feels like that's like a very high risk move. But
There's a Wisdom and Chain song
that
about, not about that particular thing, but them like, it's literally like a blow by blow, like, hey, somebody woke up in the van and somebody was driving away, like, and obviously it didn't work out well for the impending thief.
yeah.
I forget what it's called. Cap City or something. I forget, but I remember hearing it. Like, wow, this is very, very.
It's very evocative.
Very descriptive.
Yeah, very evocative.
Yeah.
So that I sleep in the van mainly because
you're a mad dog.
Yeah, because I'm a mad dog.
Someone will break in and be like, fuck that shit. that dude does 20 push-ups at every rest stop.
Exactly.
Get me out of here. Because I mean, like when you see James, you're not going to steal anything from him. So why would you?
No, I mean, and honestly, it's just presence. You know, like your case where the dude, you know, the fellow just took the laptop an inch from your head. That's going to happen.
My fucking head.
I know. And it could have been worse.
I think that's worse.
Yeah. Oh, I mean.
Oh, it's
definitely. You don't feel terribly safe. Yeah.
No.
But
also, how heavy a sleeper am I when you can open a rolling door?
That's wild, dude.
And fucking. I mean, I'm bad, but I didn't know I was that bad.
But you maybe even assumed some fucking asshole coming in the van. And
yeah,
it's
one of my bandmates. Yeah.
Right. But most of the time, just having a presence there. So you like for let's talk to the people going on their first tour, or young dudes going on. How do you prevent this? For example, so if you got a trailer and somebody comes and clips you, nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's a loss. You can't do anything.
You can't do anything. I mean, but for the petty theft, because don't leave your shit out. Bring it inside.
Yeah, I mean, like we used to do, like if we didn't have, like, I mean, if we had, like, you're not gonna move your fucking amps inside or whatever, but grab your guitars, bring them into the hotel room.
Yep.
For many reasons, whether it be the heat, the cold, whatever.
You know what, though?
Bring your money in. Bring any kind of identifying information in.
Half of these bands, mine included, are stuffing 5 to 6 people into a hotel room. So you're typically trying to maintain a low profile as you do that because you don't want to pay the extra 30 to fucking.
All right, so bands, the Indecision playbook. You go to a fucking outside hotel.
Yeah. No, a motel, sure, but. So I actually.
Are you guys upgraded? You're on like some fucking Marriott suites.
Oh, like, fuck that! We go. 2 people go in. It's usually Rachel and somebody else.
Yep.
We go in with like a room, 2 beds. And then you go back out. You're like, we're in room 313. We pull around the van and we all fucking climb in.
No big deal.
Weirdest thing. Andy Rice and I went into. We got a motel in Nebraska, and they start making gay jokes in the lobby, and we were thinking like, but not at us. But we were thinking, we could very well be a couple. It's weird. It's weird that they would.
Did they judge you as incompatible?
That they would.
Therefore,
yes, I guess. Like, they couldn't possibly be a couple. These are 2 truckers. You know what I mean? But I always thought that was a. I'll tell that story someday. That was a weird vibe. But
like, did the jokes start when you got there?
No, I mean,
like, did you walk in and then like you walked in on a punchline?
I felt like I walked into like a comedy club where they were like the least funny people were doing their most blue material.
Got it.
Like it was.
Yeah, Deliverance Hotel.
Yeah,
got it.
Ned Beatty's getting.
Fuck. Power outage in the middle of the night. People were scared. It was a whole thing. But anyway,
sorry, everybody. Don't yell at us on the Facebook group.
Don't care.
I don't care.
Where were we? Oh, what to do? Somebody
do?
Sleep in the van.
Somebody sleep in the van. Honestly, travel light. You know, so for your example. You don't need a ton of stuff. Bring what you're comfortable with, but make it so you can grab it and throw it in your bag and bring it inside. For the bands who end up going and doing the tour and you're doing well, I know of bands who are traveling with $10,000 in cash.
Yeah.
Do not do that.
Go to a bank.
Go to a bank and drop that. You get over $2-3 grand. Have one of the, and it doesn't need to be a bank, whatever. Jimmy, will you put it in your account? You got an account? Okay, cool.
There's a number of reasons to do this, everybody.
Yeah. Pay a couple bills.
It's not just getting robbed. I'm going to say this as delicately as possible.
Cops are stealing your money.
A lot of people are stealing your money, including maybe your bandmate that's got problems that you don't know. You know what I mean? Like, just so that there's never the suggestion of impropriety, just so that there's not, you're not guessing like, hey, this feels light. You know what I mean? You don't want to end up in some weird Tarantino situation. Like, you don't want to be like...
Right. You don't want to do how self-defense does it, and it's like, as long as you're with the guy with the money, you get to eat.
You hate that so much.
It infuriates me. Like, you get to go to Olive Garden if you're with Pat. It's fucked up.
I mean, I rarely carry the money. I rarely carry the money.
They're probably smart.
but
yes, put the money. I mean, just put the money away. I mean, if you're crossing borders and shit, fucking infamous story that happened to Sick of It All Indecision on the Life on the Ropes tour, like that AFI Hot Water Sick of It All Indecision tour. Come back through Canada, they were like, "This money's got coke on it. We're gonna have to seize it." Wow. And they had to Indecision and Sick of It All. I mean, Sick of It All especially had tons and tons of money. It was their probably their biggest headlining tour, I would imagine. And they were like, they had to hire an attorney to get it back. So I mean, like, they paid
had to pay money to get their money back.
Yeah. And just because like there's cocaine on it, it's like none of those dudes are doing fucking blow. Like literally nobody on that tour was doing cocaine. Like so.
Also, isn't that a cop out? Because don't they say that there's cocaine on all money in the United States?
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's what I'm saying.
Those Canadians,
if they want to find that, you know what I mean. The cop pulls you over in fucking Nebraska for a broken headlight, and they search your money. They could be like, "It's got coke on it." Well, so does every dollar bill in America.
Right.
It's a lot of fucking drug addicts out there.
I get. I was telling Bob before the podcast. I get randomly screened at shockingly high percentage of travel.
Random.
Yes, random.
I get pulled aside every time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I look like an IRA fucking guy or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah. What organization would you be affiliated with?
They've gone through my stuff. They're like, your phone has nitroglycerin on it. I'm like, really?
You're like an accident.
Yeah, I probably was playing in fucking cow shit. I have no idea. But yeah, I always get like pulled aside. I get pulled aside.
That makes me feel better because you look way more professional than I thought I was being a little discriminated against for looking like a scumbag.
I don't know.
I walked up today and Patrick was like, well, you look more professional. I literally have burn holes in my sneakers.
No, but you got a button-up shirt.
That's true.
I think
yeah, I mean, really.
Nobody's looking at the sneakers. It's look good. So talking about Canada, my favorite North American country right now.
Wow.
Not Dead Yet Fest 2018
coming
up next weekend, the 11th through the 14th. That is next weekend. Damn. Time flies. Let's go through this lineup. This is a cool weekend. Shout out to Greg and Sardé. I believe they put it on. They've been putting it on for years. I have not been, and it kind of makes me sad. There's been a couple of years where I really wanted to go. Toronto's a cool city.
Fuck yeah.
I do. I look. I like Canada to visit a lot. I love Montreal. It's sleazy as fuck, but like But Canada to me, and this is not to discourage anybody. If you have plans to go to this festival, I want you to go and I want you to have a great time. I just, as I said, I get fucking screened every aspect of my life. I find travel to Canada just arduous. I really do.
Well, that's the reason I haven't been. Was when was that? 2008. They put in that you needed a passport to get across the border. I didn't have a passport right then, so I skipped on going. I was going. The band Fucked Up was doing weekends for either record release or just have one usually at the end of October. And I went to, I believe, 3 in a row. And it was fucking 2006, 7, maybe 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, something like that. And it was always awesome. And Not Dead Yet kind of picked up where they had trailed off there. And this is one of the coolest fests, very diverse. I'll tell you what, there's a lot on this that I'm not familiar with. There's a lot that I am. It's pretty rad. And yeah, it's one of those multi-venue festivals. And before we started recording, we talked about how there's a ton of individual shows that make up this festival.
Yeah, I like that.
It's kind of hard to parse out, though.
I like that. Sometimes you got to make a choice.
Well,
no. But like
love the
Fest.
multi-venue.
Oh,
Fest, you know exactly who's playing, what time, and where.
Oh, is this?
This
not
is
doing
just
that?
hard to figure out what shows are happening and where.
Right.
Now there are some individual flyers, but otherwise there's not like a page where I can go, oh, here's where these are, and maybe there is. I'm just missing it.
Let's put a. This is just so that I listen to this back at some point, and I found an article that's about the Canadian music grant money and how it is doled out and how crooked it is, and we should talk about that sometime.
Okay, yeah, let's revisit. But Not Dead Yet Fest, great. Let's take a look at the lineup and do it a little fest style. And the other thing is, mention to LDB, we'll talk about them just a little bit, and we'll do a full episode later. I was thinking about it, we're not some like fest coverage show, but we talk about it because it's a convenient time to talk about a bunch of bands.
Yeah.
Right. And new bands and stuff. I mean, a lot of these fests especially have bands that like we've never heard of.
Yeah.
Right.
It's easy to do like the fucking big, like it's like, you know, every band on this fucking list.
Turnstile is playing. Yeah.
Like LDB, I couldn't tell you half the bands.
Right. And it's a cool way to discover music and hear it. And it also just kind of gives you a feel of the sea. You kind of see what's going on, who's playing what's this show like. So
this is pretty outside of my lane, if I had to be honest.
Yeah.
Chaos and Tejas more than
this is more Chaos and Tejas
to me, at least. I'm probably wrong, but
no, you're right. But right off the top here, Turnstile.
I'm familiar. Yeah,
I bet that's a fun show.
Absolutely.
Angel Dust.
Yeah, also fun.
Impalers, Austin, Texas.
Everybody really liked that record.
Cellar Dweller.
They
great record.
really liked that record. I thought it was good, not great.
Pin on that. Great record from last year. So we'll talk about the number ones. Not familiar at all.
No.
Sheer Mag, we discussed them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think when I read it? That number one's band is a power pop band that is like tied in, not related to Sheer Mag, but I think Sheer Mag is like out with them or something.
Oh, okay, cool. Special Interests, not familiar.
No idea.
Culture Abuse.
Familiar.
Swearing. Don't know.
Yeah.
Waxahachie. Yeah, it's one of the Crutchfields, yeah?
Yes.
Radioactivity. Marked Men.
Yep.
Folk.
Right. What's the difference? It's like one dude.
One member, yeah.
Same idea, though?
Yes.
Yeah,
like power
totally.
poppy kind of punky.
I think Dave made the comment. He's like, I feel like I'm seeing the Marked Men, but I just don't know the songs.
Got it. Yeah, I remember that.
Terror. Did I say Terror?
No.
Terror.
Oh, Terror's on that.
Boy
Their tour.
Their tour. Yeah. Boy Harsher.
Don't know.
Bug.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I literally can't read that death metal name. Backtrack.
Okay.
Sudden Impact. Not familiar. Murrow. Torso from the Bay Area.
Yep.
Cool.
Heard they might have a new record coming out pretty
No
soon.
shit.
Oh yeah.
On a big label.
Yeah. Devil Master. Negative Gain.
Oh, weird.
But maybe the next one will be out. That. Manila Popper. Sorry, it's a fade. The poster's really cool. There's a
a
faded thing on it.
Oh,
so,
Jesus.
yeah,
I
it's
can
fun.
see it now. It's
Negative Gain, Suburbanite, Vile Gash, Rhythm of Cruelty, Harm's Way, Unified Right.
Rhythm of Cruelty.
Yeah, I like that. Wind Atlas, Sial, New Fries. I could go
I like
for the
New
New
Fries.
Fries. Yeah.
Better than old fries,
Yeah.
for fucking
Well,
sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Right?
They don't age well.
Paranoid,
Fries.
Pig DNA.
Paranoid just played.
New Jersey. A band from Japan who's doing a tour, and they played New Brunswick the other day.
That's right.
All right, a ton of bands, and I'm just going to go through a handful here. Advertisement, Antagonize, BB and the Blips, Big Contest, Big School, Candy, Creative Zero, Death Bells, Feels Fine, Enforced, Gem, No Blues, Outcry, Spiritual Cramp, Soul Glow, Therapy, Ultrat, You're the Knife, some dude, Result of Choice, a ton of bands. A lot I recognize, a lot I don't.
Yeah, it's cool though.
If you have the chance, if you're hanging out and you want to go to do something, I know some of the shows are sold out, some of them aren't. Toronto's one of the best cities in America. Great time to go out. If you don't get a chance, I'll throw a bunch of these bands on the playlist for this week, and we'll kind of...
My one critique.
Yeah.
Sick, crazy lineup, really diverse. All of them are in their own little hardcore ghettos, though.
I
would love to go see
yes.
Totally
Turnstile play with Radioactivity,
Yes.
or like it's not. It's like that
Totally
territory
agree.
on its own thing. I would love
break
to
it
have
out
seen
with
that.
two bands added onto it or something, and that's it.
And
yeah.
Antagonize is one of them. It's
Yep.
not like you're really not going out. I would love to see like a real like cross section of kind of like here's fucking
Put
Torso,
BB and the Blips with Terror.
yeah, or whatever, and kind of like if
Right.
you really want to expand it. Otherwise, it's just their own little
Yes.
silos, and
Which-
it's like none the twain shall meet. And I think that's kind of
Totally
lame.
agree. Especially because this is the thing that happens with festivals is that tour packages, for whatever they're worth, end up colliding at a festival.
Yeah.
Mix that stuff up.
Right, if they're all there on the same day and they're playing an afternoon show and a night show,
The tour doesn't care that they're broken up. They're like, oh, sure, we don't need to look at you guys today. Great. You know,
Yeah,
we'll go
right.
play with the weird band.
The only thing I'll say, because I agree with you, but the only thing I'll say in defense of this is keeping it safe like that.
I mean, it makes it easier for the booker. They have a show. It's done.
Right. But it also just feels like maybe they know their market, and if they're expecting a lot of Canadian people to come through, it's possible. There's some regions that are just very snobby. You know what I mean? There's some regions where things are just very sectioned. You know
Sure,
what I mean?
no,
like,
that makes sense.
So like,
Because I feel like Fest kind of does like a decent. Oh, as much as there's a lot of like flannels and beards, there's
Yeah.
also you guys play it, or
Yep.
like fucking Old
lot
Wounds
of
will be
bands,
on
yeah.
a fucking show with
Sure.
fucking
No,
Vagina
for
Sword
sure.
Jr., whatever the fuck.
Yep.
That was an actual band. I didn't make that up.
That's
Vagina Sword
wonderful.
Jr.
Yeah.
No shit.
Very curious.
I had a former partner that was like way into that sort of stuff, and she'd like,
cool.
she'd have like all these stickers. I'm like, who the fuck are these
That's
bands?
a fantastic pun name.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, it's like these bands that literally just like play
Yeah,
Fest,
they-
and
right.
that's it. Like literally just play Fest.
Yeah.
But
Except for
like
2
so
years,
so
put out a fun demo.
the idea of a multi-venue fest, I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Especially in a city that's set up for it. You
Yeah.
know, I actually have talked about this. There's lots of places, especially college cities, for whatever reason. If you got enough venues, Brooklyn would be great for it. You got enough venues
Yeah.
that are in a general walking
Yeah.
distance.
Manhattan used to be awesome for it.
Yes,
You could have.
totally could have.
Continental, Coney Island High, CBGBs.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Damn.
Would've
Well,
been
CMG took advantage of that.
They
sometime.
definitely did.
And that's the kind of thing is multi-venue, especially if you get the chance to mix it up. And I'm not even saying just like do it for weird sake. Do it for the cross audience. That's one of the things that I thought the Fucked Up Weekends did. And honestly, just as a larger idea, hopefully this mix of bands encourages people to check it out. I love it. I think it's cool. And that's
who's Enforced going up there with? Are they on their Terror thing?
They're on their own tour. They're actually playing with the Terror tour in Chicago. Shout out to our boys in Enforced. They're
got playing Brooklyn soon.
Yeah, playing Brooklyn. Good show with Iron Lion's Cage.
Yes,
and Combust. I think so. It's a cool show.
We'll be there.
Yes,
I'll be there.
I'm going. 2/3 the room probably.
Closest to Pat, but Pat'll just be home.
True.
Looking at himself.
We'll get you on the list. There you go. So, anyways,
just
cool
Instagram pictures of himself from his bed. Here's me waking up at 12:30. Check out my pecs.
He hates when he looks at Instagram.
Yeah, I'm like, I've been at work for fucking 3.5 hours. This asshole waking up to his beautiful girlfriend being like, hey, it's 1 o'clock. You want to get a bagel?
I'm going to do something weird and annoy her for a moment. What'd you do?
You know what tomorrow is? I got to wake up early early for me, like meaning 9. Yeah. Because I've got to go to my central casting thing that I got kicked out of last time. But
You got kicked out of central casting?
So
what happened?
Too good looking?
Too good looking. They said you're breaking the equipment, Mike.
Yeah, like I can't put you in the back. Yeah. Everyone's eyes are going to go directly to your neck tattoos.
No, dun dun. Yes,
you could definitely be like.
That's what I'm. So I got 2 ambitions. One I can't share with the world because I'm plotting. I'm really working hard on it. But this one, I want to be a background person on SVU.
I think you could do it. I think be like a guy like in one of the cells in the back.
Yes. So that's
one of the guys who's at the model party, and it's like, oh, the police are staying. Oh my god.
So
rushing out, helping put a coat on a girl, whatever.
Last time I got kicked out because my passport had expired, and this irritated me to no end because I'm like pointing to it, and I'm like, it's clearly still me. You know what I mean? Like
this didn't change when it expired.
Right.
Like this is still valid ID.
Right. But I had to go get a new passport anyway, and tomorrow I go to central casting. Wish me luck. I want those.
Better than central booking, if you know what I'm saying.
That's for sure.
So one other thing, we got a lot of love for the Midwest. LDB Fest 2019.
Yeah.
It's 2019, February
8th
and 9th in Louisville at the Riot Skate Park.
New place.
Yeah.
Bigger venue is what I was told.
I'm going to read off the couple top bands. Twitching Tongues.
10th anniversary concert.
10th anniversary, yeah.
Brought to you by Delsner Slater. Sorry. I don't know.
Homewrecker, Culture Abuse, Inclination, Cross Me, Death Bells, Vomachara, Peace of Mind, Judiciary. More and more. Tons of bands.
Are there question marks on there?
There's question marks, a little surprise.
What do we think that is?
We speculated.
Did we?
Well, I think, yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
It looks like.
Okay, I'm spelling out.
Looks like we're stacking right now. Well, now I'm confused.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, shout out to them. It's not until February. We're going to do an episode where we go through the whole thing. Maybe we'll even do a listening party with that.
Like, and that's the first
announcement?
Yeah, right?
I think so.
I believe there's more.
Okay, there's more. Wow. There's a lot of bands on this.
Maybe it's not.
It feels like they're expanding. With the name change, they also are going for like a slightly broader energy than before.
It's cool. But still a lot in the Midwest. I see the band Stepping Stone on here. I like that band a lot. There's a lot of interesting stuff. And this is, say, about a month after FYA. Mm-hmm. Totally different feel.
Oh,
really
cool.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe drive around the South and then drive to Louisville after. You go to FYA, hang out for a while, for like a month.
Make it like some Deadhead shit. You're going down.
Right. All those bands are going somewhere else.
Right. Follow them around.
Yeah.
Just stay in the Southeast and end up in Louisville
Weather's
a month
better.
later. Yeah, actually weathering the South. Interesting.
They call them snowbirds.
Yes.
We got anything else? Oh, okay. Do you guys go ahead?
The thing that we could have just made a quick hit because we're not actually going to address it. We're just going to address that it exists.
Yes.
There was an article on Pitchfork about Pine Grove. And here's why we're not touching on it in any significant way. Because you don't want to hear from us exclusively on this. We have no problem touching on it, but we'll wait until we have a woman's voice in the room and we can talk about it in a more holistic way. Because we read it, we had our thoughts, but in this week, does anybody want to hear from
a bunch of fucking old white guys,
from aging white guys.
No,
man,
right? So it is what it is, folks. But I'll say this: go read it. Form your own opinions like a fucking adult.
Think about it. Like honestly.
Yeah.
Think about it and there's a lot of information there.
There's some wild stuff in there.
Yeah, and
some people really going outside their kind of purview of their jobs.
Yeah. I personally found the article to be even-handed.
Yes.
Yes.
For a very difficult subject.
Right.
Very difficult content.
Just so everybody understands, that stuff, Pine Grove might not be the sort of stuff that we 100% cover, but we do touch on it. But
it's a pervasive issue across the country, in our world, whether it be in hardcore or just be in general society.
And think about how big of a conversation this is right now at our highest levels.
Yeah. So we didn't
levels.
We didn't want to give the impression that there's shit that we won't talk about, but I do. I mean, I think we all agree that it can wait until we've got a balance,
more informed opinion.
Yeah. So that's the only quick hit I got. What else we got?
That's about it. I did want to mention. So we threw out a while ago about the 2000. What's the best record since 2010? We got a ton of responses, as discussed.
Some very stupid.
Some very stupid. Some very expected.
Some very prescient.
Yeah, some very good ones.
Because people voted for Candy before the record was out.
Before the record came out.
They might have been right. They bought stock futures on them.
They really did, and good on them. But I put out a poll because we asked on the last episode, do you think we could do this in a way to say, hey, we're going to do a quote-unquote tournament.
But not like pitch bands.
Not pitching band against people, but saying, hey, do you like this record more or do you like this record more? Maybe go out and listen to both, revisit.
Yeah.
I think it was 87% said yes. 13% said, nah, people are assholes. Can't do it.
I mean, they're right. I mean,
so I'm putting the vote to this room.
I'm saying the people that said, yeah, you can do it, just really, some of them want a bloodbath.
They want to see the world burn.
Yeah.
Purple devil emoji peeps. All right, so let's do it.
Some people just want to
the way we do things in this room and the way I would recommend things is if you're in a partnership that's 3 people, don't do majority shit. Just everybody's in or everybody's out. Do we want to do this? Do we want to do the best record since 2010?
Yeah. I'm straight up. I'm going to say that I'm
the breaker. I'm the deal breaker.
No. I'm not sure.
You can go either way.
I want to see what you guys feel.
Look, I'm a musician and I care a lot about what I do.
You got one vote,
but I think that if you are a band that's going to be sensitive about this, you need to check yourself.
Yeah, and if you've made this, you've already made, think about how many records have come out in just this world of music since 2010. A fuckload. If you're in the 64-ish bands we would consider for this list, damn.
I straight up think my records are better than any of these records, and I'm not going to make the list. So, everybody out there, just be cool about the fact that we're talking about.
You might be in the
opinions.
You're in the NIT version.
Yes, exactly. You know who loved the NIT?
Who?
My
Sienna?
father loves.
Yeah, loves the NIT.
That was a thing for a while.
Loves it. He's a Sienna man.
I understand.
You know what? He lied to me when I was a kid. I said, "Did you go to college, Dad?" He goes, "Yeah, I went to Sienna." He went to a Sienna game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He went there.
My father,
he was on the campus,
who was questioning me because I got a C in some middle school. I got a C for 1 quarter. He said, I think I challenged him, and he got kind of mad. But I was like, "Well, how did you do in school?" And he said, "I did great when I was in school."
Yeah.
When I was there.
A very avoidant answer, sure.
Which I later came to know. Oh, it's because he didn't go to school.
Yeah, he dropped out when he was 15 or whatever.
And got his GED. And I was like, did he even get his GED? And my mom's like, well, he took some classes at San Diego State. And I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. In the 70s, you just go to college and go, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, graduate. Yeah.
So,
cool.
What do you think? Can we do this with it being cool, fun, in a way to talk about music? Or is it going to be annoying?
No, I think we could.
Okay.
My only rejoinder or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
You could use it. You're talking about your misgivings here? What are you talking about?
Hold back.
We're going to shut it the fuck down if anyone's an asshole about it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my only...
So this is the warning. We're going to do it because we want it to be a cool way to talk about music. Like we are with the same thing with festivals. We're always looking for a cool way, a different angle to look at music. And to be honest, one of the things that pushed this, that made it something that we all thought about was that, since 2010, there's been a lot of records that it's like, oh shit, I forgot about this. Yeah. Oh shit, this just didn't hit my wavelength. And I bet there's a lot of you out there like that. Maybe you're young and didn't catch this record. Maybe you're older and just were kind of phased out when this shit was popping. So we're going to do it. We'll figure out a cool creative way to do it. We'll probably kick it off in the next week or two.
Cool. Are we going to do seeds or we're just...
We're going to do seeds based on... So let me spell it out here.
Amount of votes, right?
Yeah. So the best part was that nobody could have stacked the deck because y'all didn't know why. I just threw it out there as a random innocuous question, but it was fucking motivated.
Oh, shit.
I tallied up all the votes that we got.
Got him. Sorry.
Right. I tallied up all the votes we got. It was something like there was 170 different records mentioned.
Holy fuck.
But there is a solid, clear, like...
We take out the one vote.
Right. Yep. And so the way to do it is, 64 seeds.
We're going 65? Isn't it 65 now?
It's 68. It's 68, so they do two play-in. I'm going to look at that, and maybe we'll do it.
Because there might be 2 play-ins for some ones?
I think I'm going to do play-ins for that because there's some that I think that could deserve.
You could have a Cinderella story.
Correct. Deserve a write-in. Because this is also like, yeah. It's like the big thing is, hey, maybe you get exposed to some shit you just didn't know before. Yeah. I'm thinking we have it. The seeding's based on how many votes these things got. I can tell you what, the number 1 seed is Trapped Under Ice, Big Kiss Goodnight.
Yeah, I would just force it through.
Yeah, right. At the end, it got it.
I'm done here.
It got it.
I feel like
Fury Paramount.
Number 2.
Incendiary Cost of Living.
Number 3.
And number 4, I believe, was...
You kids are absurd.
Rival Mob Justice.
Are they?
I believe.
I think to put Fury... Look, we've talked about it. That Fury record's not my thing. I respect the people that really it spoke to them. I think it
speaks to a lot more broad audience than you might think.
No, that might be true. That might be true.
And I'm excited because how many times have you listened to it?
Once.
Right.
But
this is going to be reason to listen to it again.
I'm just saying that, like, to put it... it feels like recency bias.
It
feels like recency bias.
Well, and that's part of it. I'm going to look at this list and kind of weigh out a few things. There might... we're exempting bands who have been forced out of shit because they were scumbags. Sorry, that's the fucking breaks. You suck, you're out. Sorry, expired, you're out.
Yep.
You just don't get to play in fun games like this. That's your punishment here, all right?
It should be way more. Yeah.
It's kind of
it has been. Yeah, it's true.
This is just a nice little benefit bonus.
So we're not going to do regions, right?
Too hard. It's like the real thing in the NCAA. They can't do true regions because there's just not enough. But I feel like the regions in the NCAA, it's not. You're actually not in the Northwest. Exactly.
No, like Duke could be playing in the Northwest.
It's bizarre.
Because that's what people.
It's very strange.
Like, Foundation's going to win the Southeast Division.
They might be in the Northwest.
Foundation.
When the smoke clears.
When the smoke clears,
Top
might be the 4th seed.
Yeah.
Both Foundation when the smoke clears and Turncoat are in the top 10.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
So. I'm very excited.
And we'll put out that.
I'm calling it the Keep It Polite NIT Axe to Grind Sweet 64.
Jimmy Valvano and Memorial.
And to me, you see that arch over the top? Keep it polite.
Yeah, this can get shut down, so keep it fun and use this. Keep it polite and listen to some music. And if it's a record you love, listen to it again. If it's a record you hate, listen to it. Try to get through it. Try to hear what someone, for some reason, it made it. What does someone like out of this? And give us some reasons. That's one of the coolest things about what we see on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter or you don't follow us on Twitter,
it'll be on Facebook too, right?
We'll put it on Facebook too. But the interaction on Twitter is pretty fantastic. Seeing the replies because it gets a lot of people. It gets a lot of people who aren't involved with the podcast. Often will come and get involved in there. Right. So a lot of good.
Are we going to publish brackets?
Yes, I'm going to put together a bracket, and we're going to do voting for weeks.
Bob is on one on this, and I love it. Yeah, that's so much work, and it's going to be so much fun.
His brain gets very organized during these moments.
So
he already has a sports thing down fucking locked, so he can just.
So we're going to do that, and then what I think we're going to do, and I'll rely on you guys to help with this too. But
yeah, of course,
I think the Twitter. I'm going to put up 5 polls at the beginning of 5 to maybe it might be as many as 6, where to be 6 matchups, quote unquote. So you'd have 12 records to go through. And I'm going to put them up, say, on a Monday and give you till the end of the week.
And
it wouldn't close the poll till.
Don't you reflexively just fucking click the thing that immediately occurs to you. You go.
We're gonna lock it down until.
Yeah. Maybe I'll announce the matchups on a Monday, the lineups,
I think
and then put the polls up on a Tuesday afternoon or something. I'll figure it out so that then you can vote. You can put some Y's in there, Y's in the replies, as we say. And then at the end of the week, we'll tabulate that and talk about it.
I vote a lot and I don't reply.
That's totally fine. You're fine. There's a lot of people who do, and I'm always amazed by it. I vote and don't reply either.
Are we going to do something for like maybe a winner? We haven't thought about this.
No, we haven't thought about it.
But I mean, like, do you have like...
You know what I like? Here's what I like.
Like for the people that... Should we have people submit their brackets beforehand?
Oh, like a pick'em. That was brought up.
I wonder.
Oh, I was thinking that we could take a little Patreon money and go get a small trophy made.
Okay.
That would be fucking hilarious.
You know?
We'll make two. We'll make one for the winner, like the band who won, and one for the person
who pick 'em. So we will do a pick 'em poll. That's cool. Yeah, that's fun for you. I'm excited.
I think that's pretty hilarious.
I think it's fun.
I don't know what the icon on the top is going to be.
I got it.
Like a bowling trophy or something.
It's got to be a bowler.
You want a bowler?
Or like
what else is there?
Someone with wings.
I wonder if I can get one.
An atlas.
Oh, we can see because of all the hatchet throwing places. We can get one with a dude with a hatchet.
Oh, not bad. Not bad. Okay.
Nice to grind. All right.
With that.
That's cool. Best record of the 2010s.
Are we gonna have like we're gonna go to Justice and he's gonna be like, the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Whoever gets it is gonna be like, the fuck is this? And I hope they throw a picture of it.
Yeah. Okay. You want a wild card? Yeah. Here's a prediction. So I think Big Kiss Goodnight, that would have been my vote, right?
They are the stacked team. They're North Carolina.
UNLV.
But here's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing
they get taken down.
That when people see that they're the stack,
there's going to be a push against.
There's going to be a push against. That's what I see.
Everyone is one with the other.
Well, and this is the thing. In a shocking way, there is recency bias. Keepers of the Faith came out in 2010 and didn't get a ton of votes, but that means they're going to have a lower seed. They're going to fucking stay them through.
Everything, yeah.
They're akin to the college team who was a bunch of seniors. Maybe one dude got hurt, and now they're at full strength for the tournament, but got a 10 seed.
Yeah,
right. Stacey Augman's back, and he's him and Anderson Hunt are going to take you down. If you want to
come on my basketball podcast,
I would do it. I love basketball.
We will talk about it.
Are you surprised? I always shock my friends with my knowledge.
Like it? I know.
And when they go, "How the fuck do you know?"
Let's go to some games.
I'm down for it.
You know what?
Nets games are going to be cheap as fuck.
You want to hear what kind of stereotype that is? What? Stereotyping. You've been profiled. Big guys, I think there's an assumption that they're not into basketball, that they're into football.
I wouldn't assume that. I don't know. My assumption would have been he's so into music he doesn't like. I knew he has and a New York dude. I know he likes baseball.
Right.
I do love baseball. I like basketball. I like football.
Yeah.
This is going to be fucking hilarious.
You can't wait to give the trophy.
Your pops
that's all I'm really excited about. Is the really
your pops like the Knicks?
My father loves the Knicks.
God bless. Does he call them the Knicks or the Knickerbockers?
No, here's the thing. My father has reached that level of old man sports fan where he sincerely just likes good games.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
Love it.
Like last night, I stayed up and watched the goddamn Cubs and Rockies until 13th inning. I fell asleep.
I watched both preseason basketball games while flipping back to the Cubs to Rocktober because they fucking won.
Your dad down for basketball?
My dad loved basketball. Yeah, took me to the Celtics. Yeah. My pops was from Boston, so he really liked the Celtics
in the 80s too.
In the 80s, in the 60s, he was going in the 60s,
right? So
and he liked
John Havlicek on.
Right, he loved basketball. He thought hockey was cool, and here's how you can tell a poser New England sports fan: if you ride so hard for the Patriots and the Red Sox. My dad liked the Red Sox, but he was in the Boston institution of they're never going to win. They're never going to win.
Right.
He saw him win before he passed, but. That it was like, all right, cool.
Right,
fine.
he was a Jerry Lynn guy.
But if you know people who are Patriots fans, I'm sorry, guys, you're either very young or you're not really down.
Right. You don't remember Tony Eason?
You don't remember Tony Eason. You don't remember the
Craig James.
That was who was their tight end? Their tight end was somebody. Well, whatever. Ben Coates in the '90s with Drew Bledsoe.
You talking about Tony Gonzalez? No, not Tony Gonzalez.
No, I'm talking about Ben Coates. I'm thinking of the tight end
that got killed. What's the dude that killed himself?
Oh yeah, who's the?
Bob, I thought you'd appreciate this. You know what Amelia's wearing right now?
A Denver Broncos Super Bowl 32 crew neck sweatshirt.
1997. Yeah. How'd you know?
Discussed it.
Okay,
we discussed it already. She posted the Instagram story. And I was like, "Yo, great sweatshirt." And she's like, "That's amazing that you know what the hell that is." So shout out to her.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna do this fun ass tournament. Thank you guys. We'll be back with more great content.
Fuck Brett Kavanaugh.
That's what we do.
Fuck Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah, fuck him and anyone who supports him.
Free Frank Kinlan. Fuck Brett Kavanaugh.
Wow,
for real.
Respect. All right.
We're taking your dad to a Knicks game next year.
November 6th, we're all coming for you.
Oh, everybody keep my father's foot in your thoughts and prayers.
That's a weird.
Free Frank, keep Frank's foot.
Frankfurter.
Goodbye, everybody.
See ya.